this in overtime. Kansas.
With Carrington Harrison.
Back-to-back best sports talk hosts as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Fan Studios. Here's C-Dot.
This is my fault. I got to take full responsibility, Rob, for the first 30 seconds of the show. I accidentally grabbed Scott Parks' headphones. I didn't mean to grab Scott Parks' headphones, so I got to take full responsibility for that. Being off that one day, Rob, has thrown me off my game. I'm not on my normal sharpness that I'm normally with today, and I apologize to you guys. Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. Rob, let me ask you a question. I want to know if you missed me for the last couple of days. It's been a while since I've seen you. I want to know if you missed me, Rob.
I mean, it's good to have you back. There was a nice little break, some time at the pool, some golf, some R&R, but yeah, it's good to have you back across the glass from me.
So we have a lot to get into in today's show. We're going to start with the stadium for just a little bit. When I got back, Rob looked at me and was like, Carrington, we got to give you an update on the stadium. And I'm like, what happened this time? Mark Donovan talked about the stadium. I was like, all right, I guess we'll play it. We'll get to that coming up in a bit. But before we do that, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. It'd be great if you could tell two friends, but you know what? I'm not going to be that picky about it. If you could just tell one person to check out the show, you know what? I would greatly appreciate it. So the Chiefs continue to give statements about this without really saying anything in relation to the stadium. So we now know that they have a deadline in Kansas. I use deadline in air quotes of the end of the year. They can always push that deadline back, kind of like they did the last time. At first, they were saying it was a hard deadline. It wasn't a hard deadline. Now they have a new hard deadline that is 6 months later than the one they told me before. So that's point number one. So the Chiefs are still going over their options. Are they going to build a new stadium in Kansas, or are they going to stay on the Missouri side? Well, now we have a little bit more clarity. So the state of Missouri is not going to give any more funding. I never thought they were going to. They just approved 50% of the stadium. If they were going to approve 60 or 70, they would have done that already. So I think the other part of the money is either going to come from county money, local city money, or it's going to come from the team themselves. So that's one part of this equation. Mark Donovan was also asked that, hey, if you guys choose to stay in Jackson County, if you want to stay on this side of state line, when would a vote happen? He said the vote would happen in April. He was also asked a very good question. What happened if the vote fails in April? Here's what Mark Donovan said.
I know Luke said last one, but let's say you go renovation and you can't get a timeline to get on the ballot in November and you do it in April and it doesn't pass. Then what?
Yeah, that'd be a tough situation for everybody involved.
So that was Mark Donovan as he met with the media to tell us what happens if the April vote fails. I mean, they can't come out and say it as straightforward as anything, but I think the answer is very, very obvious. If the Chiefs say that they are going to stay in Jackson County and they need a vote and a tax to pass to make that possible in April, and if that vote fails, there's no more conversations to have. They're building a new stadium in Kansas. The people on the Missouri side, the people on the Jackson County side have told you, we're fine with you going over there. There really ain't that much to talk about if this is what the Chiefs decide to do. If the Chiefs tell the people where Arrowhead currently is, hey, we're not going to take all of this money, all of this land to build a completely brand new stadium. We think this is Lambeau Field. We want to build a shiny, or we want to put a fresh coat of paint. After I've been seeing for the last 5 years, it's save Arrowhead, save Kauffman Stadium. We don't want you to move. Why do you have to move downtown? We love our stadiums the way that it is. If we ask you to chip in and now you don't want to chip in, there's nothing else to talk about. They're moving, if that's the case. Here is Ty Masterson. Are we calling him friend of the show? Is Ty Masterson friend of the show?
I mean, He will probably be on the show again, so yes, we can preemptively call him friend of the show.
Yeah, I don't know if we can call that yet. I'm not willing to change the rules for a Ty Masterson. We might change it to a Pat McAfee that was one and done on the show. I don't know if we can call Pat Masterson, or Ty Masterson, excuse me. I don't know if we can call him official friend of the show yet. He was asked the question, what happens if there is a vote on the Missouri side and it fails? What does that mean for Kansas? Here's his answer.
I think that ship's going to sail, right? Because it's complex to put something together like what we did. You know, when you have 165 people trying to make a decision, it gets pretty complicated. So I think what you have with Kansas is best deals on the table, take it or leave it.
Okay, so if this thing does fail in Missouri, that means the Chiefs could potentially be open for the world, you know?
Oh, I know. No, that's what I'm hoping that, because I think it's best for the teams to stay in the market, right? These guys are business guys. I mean, so yeah, I hope that's enough incentive for them to get on the ball. Let's go.
So that was Ty Masterson earlier today. He was on Fesco in the morning talking about what would happen if a vote fails in Missouri regarding a renovation to Arrowhead. We still have a long way to go in this process. I don't think we're going to have any clarity on this, at least this summer. I think if there was clarity to be had, we would have already had it on this topic. I don't think we're getting any clarity. I know they said, oh, we're close to figuring this thing out. No, they're not. The only way I think we could get clarity on this, Rob, and tell me if you think I'm off, I think there is a chance that the Chiefs just make the announcement at training camp. But I don't think the Chiefs are making an announcement on their stadium during the NFL season. I don't think that's happening. I think the Chiefs either make their announcement between now and preseason game number 1, or I don't think they're making an announcement until 2026. I know what Kansas told you. Oh, we got a deadline for real this time. I don't believe you. I don't see a scenario in which the Chiefs during the season are going to take attention away from their football team and place it on what their future plans are when you've had this much time. So I think there's maybe 2 doors to go through. One is we do get an answer here in the next 30, 45 days or so. The Chiefs before the season just make an announcement and we move forward from there. Or I think we got another 6 months or longer of having this conversation. I do think that is a possibility. Would you agree with that? Do you think there is a chance that those things happen?
I think there's a chance, but I don't want to say fall out of my chair shocked. But this process is taking a lot of time. And maybe it's wrong by me because I assumed it'd be a more expedited process, but it hasn't been. But I would be shocked if between now and the start of the NFL season, we have clarity on the Chiefs. I think the Royals, we might have clarity by October because they want new no matter where the new is. And you got to start breaking ground and doing all those sorts of maneuverings and things. But at this point, I feel like the Royals news is coming first. So I don't think the Chiefs news is coming for a year maybe.
Yesterday, I was watching the Royals game. I didn't get a chance to watch the entire game, but I probably watched, 4 or 5 innings yesterday. I was kind of busy yesterday. Eventually, I'll be able to tell you guys why I was busy yesterday and why I wasn't here. But so I'm watching the Royals game yesterday, and I was sitting there thinking this. I know that it's been kind of frustrating in Kansas City the last, 3-4 weeks or so. Certainly know that that's the case. It could always be worse. The Royals could be the Pirates. That is a bad baseball team. I don't say that to take away from the Royals' win yesterday or diminish their win yesterday. I'm simply saying that as a point of an observation and watching the Pirates play. The Pirates for the 4th of July weekend didn't score. I mean, on Friday night, they didn't score. On Saturday night, they didn't score. They woke up on Sunday and then decided, you know what? I'll actually take some more of that, and then didn't score at all on Sunday. They then came into Kansas City and day one got beat around. I'm not happy with the way the Royals season has gone. I imagine you are also not happy with the way the Royals season has gone. I'm simply telling you this to say it could always be worse. You could be the Pirates. The Pirates have the best pitcher in baseball. If they were doing a draft right now, Paul Skeens probably goes in the top 5. I mean, he's one of the best players in baseball. They're already talking about trading him in year 2 because their team is so bad. He has a sub-2 ERA, but has a losing record as a starting pitcher. He has only won 1 of his last 13 starts. He has been amazing. They're bad. Rob, you remember that meme of that guy. I don't know if it was real or fake or whatever it was. But there was a meme of a person who had a Bugatti, but they were parked in like a trailer home down in Miami. That's what Paul Skeens is. That's what the Pirates are. They have the newest 2026 Lamborghini Corvette. They got a beautiful sports car. They live in a one-way. It's bad. It's real. The Pirates are a bad baseball team. I didn't watch every pitch of yesterday's game. I didn't watch it from start to finish, but I'm telling you, I saw more than enough yesterday to come away with thinking they're an awful, awful baseball team. Coming up on the other side, we'll be joined by the Hall of Fame voice of the Kansas City Royals, Denny Matthews, will join us on the show. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Catch Hall of Famer Denny Matthews every Monday at 3.
And gone, Bobby Witt.
On your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Say hello to Wendy's new 2-for-4 Biggie Bundle. Choose from the JBC made with fresh, never frozen beef, crispy chicken sandwich, 6-piece nugs, or small soft drink. Any two for just $4. It's like the reunion special you've been waiting for, but the only drama is watching you try to pick just two. For a deal as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's. Request 2 for $4 Biggie Bundles to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S. Alaska.
New Harley-Davidson Street Glides under $265 a month at Rawhide Harley. Right out for under $265 a month on a new Street Glide at Rawhide Harley-Davidson.
Payments based on Street Glide model and base color with 30% down, 96-month term, 6.99% APR with approved credit. Doesn't include freight, setup, tax, title, and license fees. See dealer for details.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-949-1441. That's 800-949-1441. 800-949-1441.
Hi, I'm Trisha, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where we're all about you, your style, your budget, your dream engagement ring. Are you looking for a style that's classic, modern, vintage, or something in between? Not sure? At Shane Company, we're here to help. We have so much style under one roof because a friend knows you like options. Drop by or visit us at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Febreze. It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now, all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Hey, what's up, flies? This is David Spade.
Dana Carvey.
Look, I know we never actually left, but I'll just say it. We are back with another season of Fly on the Wall.
Every episode, including ones with guests, will now be on video. Every Thursday, you'll hear us and see us chatting with big-name celebrities.
And every Monday, you're stuck with just me and Dana. We react to news, what's trending, viral clips.
Follow and listen to Fly on the Wall everywhere you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's Lucas Ursig from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into the show. We got some breaking news. The Royals announced today that they have selected the contract of infielder/outfielder Cam Devaney. They are also sending Mark Canha to be on the 10-day injured list due to an elbow injury. I wonder what that means for him as we get closer to the trade deadline. He certainly seems like a player that could be available to be a 4th, 5th outfielder for a team. So Mark Canha, he has been placed on the 10-day injured list. But the real story is, in order to open up a 40-man spot, the Royals send left-hander Cole Ragans. He has been transferred to the 60-day IL. They are not saying it. They are shutting Cole Ragans down for the rest of the season. There really is no other way to kind of look at it. You got a sense that something was wrong with Cole Ragans in his last hand bit of starts. They then had him make one more start. It was obvious that he was not 100%. They then dialed it back. They put him on the IL. It was supposed to be 10 days. They kind of pushed it. Now he's on the 60-day IL. I don't really see a scenario in which, 45 days from now, 40 days from now, there's a reason to put Cole Ragans back out there. Cole Ragans is done for the rest of the season. It's over for this year. Now, I don't think that that's a bad thing. We're talking about a guy who has a history of elbow issues. He has had 2 Tommy John surgeries in his career. A guy who is now having a significant shoulder injury. It makes sense to me to shut it down for the rest of the year with Cole Ragans. The Royals are not playing for anything for the rest of the season. Now, I'm not saying the Royals need to pack it in and give up on the rest of the year, but let's not also be silly for the remainder of 2025. This is a 78-win baseball team, a 77-win baseball team. It's certainly better than what they've been in years past. Not good enough to make the postseason. Next year, you can move forward with a healthy Cole Ragans, a healthy Chris Bubich, and Noah Cameron. And that's your 1, 2, 3. You got a great foundation. Then, depending on what you do with Seth Lugo, you can use that to go flip an outfield bat. You got free agency to go out and spend some money to go find yourself a bat. Cole Ragans being shut down for the rest of the season and being rested up and fully healthy for the start of next year is not the worst thing that could happen to the Royals. I thought this was a possibility when it happened. We're talking about a guy who is one of the 5 most important assets that you have in your organization. If you were talking about kind of pushing past where the Royals have been the last couple of years, they were a wild card team last year. This year, they were a fringe wild card team. Looks like they're going to miss the postseason. If you're talking about breaking through, you're talking about doing it with Cole Ragans as either your number 1 or number 2. And with how fragile elbows can be, shoulders can be, arms can be, the last thing you can afford to do is damage anything with Cole Ragans from a long-term perspective. This is the right way to handle it. The Royals have moved Cole Ragans to the 60-day IL. Rob, I'm not really sure if the Royals had a choice.
I mean, it feels like this is the right move, and I feel like you're right. In 45 days, that's what, ballpark, let's just say end of August, there's absolutely no reason, we anticipate there'll be no reason to rev him back up and get him back on the roster and bring him back up. So ice him down, have him ready for 2026, and now, I think this is, we talked about this yesterday when you were gone with Bink. Bink believes the idea of trading Seth Lugo will be a white flag on the season. I think you kind of have to trade Seth Lugo now. I think it's pretty clear. If you're not going to have who on paper is your best pitcher, and that is Cole Reagans. If you're not having him for the rest of the 2025 season, you probably aren't achieving your dreams in the 2025 season. So start trading, 1-year rental assets you have, Seth Lugo, John Schreiber, those types of players, and bulk up the roster and be ready for 2026. That doesn't mean you bottom out and lose 100 games, but it's time to keep an eye on the future more than the now if your best pitcher is not going to be available in the now.
I also don't care about waving the white flag for the 2025 season. Now, no one wants to hear that their team has given up, right? We still got a long way to go. I mean, they're still charging you full price. They're still charging for parking out there. They're still charging for beer and peanuts. So I certainly get why no fan would want to hear that. But it's time to be realistic. And this is where you and I think, agree that we have expanded the postseason so much that people and fans find such value in being the 14th best team in Major League Baseball. Now, again, I'm not saying that I want the Royals to tank, but if you are the Royals and you can potentially build a foundation of something real and something lasting in 2026, you owe it to yourself. Seth Lugo is 35 years old. He will be 36 years old. And if anything, what the Cole Reagans injury should show you is things can change real quick. It wasn't that long ago we were talking about Cole Reagans as being one of the 5 best left-handers in the American League. Now he essentially has had a lost year in his prime. Things can turn real quick for Seth Lugo. So let's say that you want to be valiant, you want to be brave and go for it if you're the Royals. Well, what if something happens in September and maybe you were thinking about making that trade in the offseason? Well, now he picks up his player option. You're locked in for Seth Lugo when you could have got something that can help you. The Royals are not going anywhere this year. That doesn't mean you have to give up, but the Royals are not, they're not making a deep run. They're not any of those things. We watched 90-something Royals games. I think we know that about this team. The best thing for the Royals to do is what you said. Take your most valuable assets and ones that you think can help you build something for 2026 and move in that direction. And if Seth Lugo can get you an outfield bat that can solve some of your biggest problems is rounding out 6 through 9 in your lineup. It is a problem every single day. Every night this season, 6 through 9 in some capacity has been a problem for the Kansas City Royals. And it's hard to do that when you don't trust half your lineup to drive in runs or get on base or be consistent run producers. And that's been their biggest issue. So if you think that Seth Lugo can help you accomplish that for in the future, you owe it to your organization to move on from Seth Lugo and start to think not just about now, but ahead of.
I also think, and I don't believe it's a white flag. That was Bink yesterday. I also think, and I point to last year's Tigers a lot, just because you move a Seth Lugo does not mean you're quitting on 2025. Magic can still happen. In 2014, this was a 500 team. They got hot. It's on the text line. Why are you guys being mean to the Royals? They get hot. They're on a good run. They could be back in the playoff hunt. You can do both. You can move Seth Lugo and make 2026 look better on paper and then still get hot. There is no shame in, hey, you played better in the second half. You finished 82-80 or 83-79. You missed the playoffs, but you move Seth Lugo, and now you get a top prospect or a starting right fielder or a starting left fielder. Like, I feel like too often in baseball, we look at buyers and sellers as, winning or losing. There is a middle ground. You can sell a Seth Lugo, improve the future roster, and still have a roster right now with Noah Cameron, Chris Bubich, Michael Wacha as 3 starters and an offense that looks like it might be getting hot at the right time. You can still be competitive. I think you can do both, but I think Seth Lugo has to be moved as part of the future and then let the chips fall where they may from there to the end of the season. But Seth Lugo can't be a September 9th starter because there's a chance the season is lost.
Yeah, and I guess, so to read the text that you were replying to, Carrington, I'm tired of your Royal slander. Do you realize it takes one good run that they currently could be on to be back in the race? Who's to say that this team doesn't have it? We have it. They constantly win. You're gaslighting fans into thinking the season is over. I don't have to gaslight you into anything. We've seen the Royals play over 90 games this season. We've seen them play over 90 games. They're under 500. Heading into the All-Star break. They will likely be under 500. I guess they could just continue to stay hot. They're 5 games out of the 3rd wild card race. It's not about being positive at this point. It's about being realistic with where they are. So, hey, if you think the Royals got one more run in them and they can go for it, sure. They're completely eliminated in the division. They're 14 games back in the division. They're not winning the division. there are currently 4 teams ahead of them for the final wild card spot. So it's not just about catching up with one team. You got to be better than 4 teams the rest of the way. I just don't trust the Royals to do that. And what I think the worst thing for the Royals to do is sit around on their hands hoping that they have this one great run that could maybe get them into the postseason this year and set themselves up in 2026 where they could win the division. The Royals could win the division in 2026. They will likely have the starting pitching to do so next year. You get more at-bats for Jack Caglione. Vinny Pasquantino has really come on the last 30 days or so. You have one of the 5 best baseball players in the world in Bobby Witt Jr. If the Royals spend a little bit of money to go help out the rest of their outfield and shore up the rest of their lineup, the Royals could be a 90-win team next year. They're just not that now. So, no, I'm not going to pretend, oh, man, hey, all it takes is one good run. They ain't got it. I don't think this team has it. I don't think they have enough offensively to be consistent enough to go on that run. The Royals have had one hot streak all season. It was a great streak in May. They had a good hot streak. Schedule broke the right way. The Royals haven't shown me they can beat good teams. And in order to catch these teams in the wild card, you're behind Texas, Los Angeles, Boston, Seattle. In order to do that, you got to consistently beat good teams, and I just don't believe the Royals can.
I point to this a lot. I know, let's take what happened at the end of the season out of the equation for the Tigers last year. The Tigers were 52-55. I wasn't listening to sports talk in Detroit last year for the Tigers. When they were 52-55, I would imagine radio broadcasters in Detroit sounded like me and you. You know what they did? They traded their top starting pitcher, or I guess their second best starting pitcher in Jack Flaherty. They traded their best bullpen arm. And look where the Tigers are now. I'm not saying it's just because of those 2 moves, but they set themselves up for 2025 by making the hard decisions in 2024. And the Tigers got the best of both worlds. They got super hot, and they were able to make the playoffs and then be set up for the future. And maybe that happens to the Royals, but being set up to win the division in the future is a better spot than chewing on your fingernails to be a team that has to go to New York in the division series and get beat again. That's just not that's not a cycle I want to be on as a Royals fan.
Text line 913-586-7965. Seed out there 5 games out of the playoffs. That isn't much. That's just 2 series that they need to sweep. I mean, just a week ago, the Royals won 1 game in one home game in the month of June. I'm sorry. They've just been in this place enough to me that I just can't play their one run a game out of it. I feel like we've been doing that all season. I can't do it. If you guys can do it, fine. I'm not here to tell you how to feel about the Royals, but I mean, it wasn't that long ago that the Royals had an entire homestand in which they didn't win a game, and they won 1 game on an entire homestand. They're now back. They win against the Pirates, and now they're 5 games. I'm not there. I can't do it. I'm not on this roller coaster with the Royals. That was a May and June thing for me. It is almost the middle of July. I can't do that anymore when it comes to them. Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Diddy Matthews, the Hall of Fame voice of the Royals. There is one thing I am sad about with the Royals. I'm sad that we won't get a chance to see Paul Skeens this week. I was looking forward to seeing him.
Yeah, there are 9 guys who don't feel that way, but I think a lot of people, spectators and just curiosity, would want you to sit down and enjoy watching him pitch. Now, they're usually allowing him no longer than 6 innings, 6 or 7, depending on the number of pitches, and they're protecting him. And so you wouldn't see him quite likely pitch a complete game, but he is a force. He's a terrific pitcher, and yeah, it's a shame that people that came to the game last night, and he was scheduled to pitch last night, didn't get a chance to see him, but like I said, there are 9 guys that are not too unhappy that he didn't pitch.
Denny, when you look at the start to his career, it feels a lot like Zach Greinke the year that he won the Cy Young with the Royals. I mean, he has a 1.94 ERA this season, but is 4-7 on the year. He has been absolutely phenomenal. It's been a while since we've seen a pitcher get off to this kind of start in his career, but the run support hasn't been there, and he just hasn't had the backing from his team.
Yeah, I wonder how he's won 4 games with that lineup that they have. Now, their defense is pretty good, but my gosh, they just don't have anybody in their lineup that you are fearful of. And we talked about it on the broadcast last night. The Royals have guys that you think, boy, we better pitch around them or be careful with them because they can really be dangerous and hurt you. But you look up and down the Pittsburgh lineup, and they just don't have those impact power hitters and just really good hitters. I don't care if a guy is a singles-type hitter, move the ball around, move runners, But they don't have that. They just it's a shame for Skeens and their starting pitching and their bullpen, because the pitching for the Pirates and the defense has been pretty good, but they just don't have much offensively.
I got a chance to watch the game yesterday, and one of the thoughts that kind of came to my mind is, I know the Royals are struggling, but they're definitely better than that team. I just look at a lot of the metrics, and the Royals are just a better team than the Pirates, and I understand you can't look at baseball like football and must win, but with this team trying to get back to 500, you can't afford to lose a home series, especially when you got Cameron, Lugo, and Bubic. You cannot afford to lose a series at home to the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yeah, it'd be very disappointing if that eventuated, but now they've taken one step toward winning the series, and if they just win one of the next two, that's fine, and you don't lose the series. But, yeah, I'm with you. If you don't sweep, why, it's a little bit of a disappointment, but, again, they're a major league team with pretty good pitching and a decent bullpen, so you've got to be on your game to beat them.
Right now, we're talking to the Hall of Fame voice of the Kansas City Royals, Denny Matthews. Denny, let's talk about a couple of the All-Stars. Bobby Witt Jr. is heading back to the All-Star game. We'll also talk about Chris Bubic. Let's start with Witt. He's the superstar here. He has gotten off to a phenomenal start in his career. We're talking about a guy that could be a double-digit All-Star. We're talking about a guy who has a chance to win an American League MVP at some point in his career. We're talking about a guy who was building the foundation for one of the best careers, certainly of modern Royals history.
Yeah, what's the ceiling? And that's why it's intriguing to watch him continue to improve and develop. He must avoid injury, and obviously any player who has his sights on a long big league career has to avoid those nagging injuries and serious injuries, which can really set you back. But, yeah, he's just off to a great start, and who knows how many All-Star games he's going to be in. But he's got all the tools. He works hard. He's got a great attitude. He's a great person, a lot of greats in there, and I'm talking about Great. He's a terrific young guy.
Yeah, I was looking at this because yesterday Manny Machado got his 2,000th hit, and just how difficult it's going to be for guys moving forward to get to 3,000. Like the number of guys that are going to do it, just because guys' batting averages is not like, earlier periods in baseball. Bobby, it's obviously very early on in his career, and you mentioned he has to stay healthy, has to avoid injury. If Bobby can continue to do this for a 14, 15-year career, he's going to have a good of a chance of any current player of eventually getting to 3,000 hits.
I can't debate that point with you. I think you're right on it. And with all the tools that he has, he can hit for power. He can go to the opposite field. If you need just a single, a double, he can produce that. He's just an all-around great player. I've said many times, if you wanted to invent the perfect baseball player, just take Bobby Witt's tools, never mind the way he processes the game, never mind his baseball IQ, never mind how hard he works, just the physical gifts that he has, you're on your way to the perfect baseball player.
I think about a lot of times, Denny, coming up, and I'm sure you've heard this about the Royals' struggle in developing their own starting pitching. They certainly have had kind of one-off starting pitching. That has kind of been a knock for them as an organization. You take a look at Chris Bubic, a player that was drafted by them, the 40th overall pick, who has developed into an all-star and is really coming into his own at the prime of his career. This is a real win for J.J. Piccolo, a real win for his staff, and the entire front office and coaching staff developing this guy into an all-star.
Mm-hmm. And I've said many times, Carrington, that every player, position or pitcher, every baseball player has his timetable with regard to when he reaches his peak. Some guys, it happens right away. For instance, Bobby Witt, it happened very quickly. Mike Trout, he was a great player from the moment he played his first game. But those are the exceptions. And everybody else, sometimes it takes a half a baseball season. Sometimes it takes 2 full seasons before they begin to get the idea, know what they can and can't do. Every player has his own timetable, and you can't guess on it when you sign them and put them in the minor leagues and say, well, in 2.5 years he's going to be a big leaguer. You don't know. It's just one of those things. It's a guessing game, and you hope that they develop quickly, but it doesn't always happen that way.
What have you seen from him in terms of his development that has kind of gotten him to this point? Because I think of you know, there have been so many different pitchers that Royals fans have kind of thrown out there as who they thought was going to be next. Like Asa Lacy is a name that kind of comes to mind. Royals fans were really excited. I don't really remember there being a lot of conversation about Bubic. And this year, kind of looking ahead with Reagans and Noah Cameron and Chris Bubic, even if something happens to Lugo at the trade deadline, you feel really good about this rotation for the next few years or so.
Yeah, with Bubic, I see confidence and command, which are different. His confidence is skyrocketed. His command has been very good. And again, here we go, the timetable again. It takes a while. He's figured out what he is. He's figured out what kind of a pitcher he is. He's figured out what his stuff can do for him. He's figured out what the hitters are trying to do to him. And that's a lot of figuring out, but he's managed that, and I think it's come to fruition now. He's really had a fine season. He's a force when he's on the mound.
Denny, how does it feel for an old-school baseball guy like yourself to see the Royals playing the Pirates and the Mets in the middle of the season? You know, it was a big deal. I remember whenever interleague play happened, you would get really excited. It would give you a chance to see the Cubs or the Cardinals or see Barry Bonds come to town. But now the fact that there is really no American League and National League, both leagues have the DH. They play each other throughout the course of the season. What is it like to see baseball evolve in that way?
Well, I enjoy seeing all the National League teams come into town every other year, and I think it's a good thing. And I grew up a National League fan right in the central part of Illinois, so I was National League all the way. So I was always excited to see a National League team, whether we went to a National League ballpark or one of the National League teams came in to play the Royals at Kauffman. And, yeah, I think it's good for the fans, and you do get to see the really good players in the other league. And some people will say, well, we got tired of seeing Detroit and Cleveland 19 or 20 times a year, and there's something to that, too. So, yeah, I'd say thumbs up on interleague play. And you're right about National and American League. I don't think there's any difference now. There isn't. There really isn't a National and American League. It's just Major League Baseball. And so that's how it's evolved.
Last thing here, Denny, and we appreciate your time. I looked this up because I was curious because Miguel Garcia is hitting 300. There's only 9 players right now in baseball that are hitting 300. So I was curious. If you go back 20 years, there are 48 players that hit at least 300 over the course of the season. We have seen the game really change and evolve in such a way. I don't want to say that guys hitting 300 is dead, but it certainly looks like it is on life support in some way. What is it like to see the game really change where batting average is not nearly as important as it was 10, 15, 20 years ago?
Yeah, things evolve, as you said. Go back to 1968, the year of the pitcher, when I think one guy, Kari Yastrzemski, hit 300, 301. It was the year of the pitcher, and then they did all those things to help the offense and kind of hurt the pitching. They lowered the mound and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's a constant change, constant evolution. As my dad told me a long time ago, and I've quoted him 100,000 times, life is nothing more than a series of adjustments. And so things evolve, things change, nothing stays the same, and so we go.
That is Denny Matthews joining us on the show today, the Hall of Fame voice of the Kansas City Royals. Denny, we are coming up on the All-Star break next week. We'll kind of take a look back on the first half of the season for the Royals. Denny, we look forward to catching up with you next week.
Look forward to it. See you, Carrington.
Absolutely. I want to read some of these texts. 913-586-7965. C-Dot, you have become the Royals' biggest hater. Someone else replied and said, C-Dot, do you ever smile or are you happy ever? I certainly smile. I'm certainly happy. I don't think I'm the Royals' biggest hater. Maybe I just don't ride the roller coaster of emotion with the Royals that you guys do, so I don't catch myself in these situations. I also really push back on the notion of being a hater. Like if your friend runs a 5.6 40 and your friend's like, hey, am I fast? And you tell them, no, you're not. I don't think you're hating. I think you're being obvious. I think you're being honest with your friend. The Royals are tied last for runs. They're 29th in home runs. They're last in walks. They're under 500. They won one home game in the month of June. I don't think telling them, hey, I don't know if you're making the postseason. I don't think that's hating on them. I think that's about being realistic. And I think the worst thing that we can do to the Royals as they get close to the deadline where they have certain pieces that, yes, might make the rest of 2025 uncomfortable, but could really help the Royals in 26 when they can make the postseason. They can be a team that makes a run. I think the worst thing the Royals can do is convince themselves they are something that they are not. And the Royals have not shown us that they are a consistent baseball team. And in order to make the postseason, that's what they need to be. They have to be a consistent baseball team, and they just haven't shown me that. So if we are saying that trading Seth Lugo is waving the white flag, then I'm ready to wave the white flag. I still think you can be competitive. I still think the Royals can win 77, 78 games. I still think they can be one of those teams. But if you are trying to go for it to be the third wild card team and that involves keeping Seth Lugo, I think the Royals are making a mistake if that's how they end up playing this thing. And I think that Seth Lugo, the benefit that you can get of potentially going forward in 2025, I think there is a much greater reward in winning the Seth Lugo trade and how that can help you in 26 and 27. We're talking about a quality starting pitching that just about any team could add at a pretty reasonable price for the rest of the season, and what that could get you back in a return. I think that's too valuable of something to try to go for it to be the third wild card team and potentially play the Yankees in the first round of the postseason. We can keep this conversation going. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Summer is here, and that means longer days and warm nights, rooftop dinners, spontaneous getaways, vacation season, and romance is in the air. But if you're dealing with erectile dysfunction, all that excitement, it can feel like pressure and like you're missing out on something. Well, look, you're not alone. And more importantly, there's help that's out there, especially with my friends over at Heartland Men's Health. They specialize in ED treatments that work even when the pills and the herbals don't, with a success rate of over 90%. Some guys even last an hour or more. Summer should feel unforgettable, romantic, confident, not stressful. If your sex life is just good enough, then why should you settle? Your first visit is just $99, including a full medical consult, testosterone, and a PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if it doesn't work right there in the office, then your visit is on the house. Visit the website, heartlandmenshealth.com. With offices in Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City, you can get back in action as soon as tomorrow. Don't let ED steal your summer away. Reclaim it, and you can do that with Heartland Men's Health.
Honey, in case you can't tell from the recliner, summer is here, and our house desperately needs the experts at Powell Exteriors KC for siding, windows, entry doors, beautiful decks, patio covers, roofs, and more. Get ready for the heat at powellkc.com.
Listening is so important, and that's what Dawn Sharp does. She listens to her clients' needs. Buying or selling a home is stressful, and you want an agent who puts your needs at the top of every single list. And you want to contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. Ask them about their instant offer program. You can Google them at Sharp Homes Team, or better yet, pay them a visit at homesforsaleandkc.com. And start packing.
Gear up, race fans. Sioux Cup IndyCar Race Weekend is roaring into Iowa Speedway July 11th to the 13th, featuring the only NTT IndyCar Series doubleheader weekend on the 2025 schedule. Sioux Cup IndyCar Race Weekend has become one of the most anticipated and action-packed events in racing. Tickets are going fast. Score yours today and get ready to feel the rush at the fastest short track on the planet. Visit IndyCar@Iowa.com for tickets. Sioux Cup IndyCar Race Weekend at Iowa Speedway, the ultimate summer racing event.
Having unexpected car trouble or just in a car accident? Call Jay Southland Tow Service, 816-779-4869 or southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments. They can do it all. Be in the know and call Jay's Southland Tow.
It's almost Andy Reid. When I landed in KC, I started doing commercials, the whole playbook. That's how I teamed up with Renner Garage Store. For nearly 70 years, Renner has been serving KC with the latest styles, top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, and the trusted service of a family-owned team. Get your free estimate today, and if you're looking for for work, Renner's hiring installers with paid training. RENNER, forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
Lowe's knows July 4th savings are worth celebrating. Right now, get up to 40% off select major appliances and get an additional 10% off 2 or more select major appliances. Plus, get 3 Scott's Naturescapes 1.5 cubic foot mulch bags for just $10. These deals are coming in hot. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Hey, Joy. Oh, you are glowing.
Oh, hey. More like Mirajoyed. That Miralax helped me go. I was so backed up. Tried mega coffees, prune juice, everything. Then Miralax. And hello, gentle relief without the harsh side effects.
Ooh, how does it work?
It works naturally with the water in your body for constipation relief. Find Miralax today at your local retailer.
Use as directed for occasional constipation.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent fountain and frozen drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, or dig between your couch cushions, or ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. We take those too. 89-cent frozen and fountain drinks at Casey's, all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
This week only, go to Peter's Clothiers to get half-off suits by Jack Henry. Choose from many colors and sizes. Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line. This week only, Jack Henry suits are half off. Come in today, only at Peter's Clothiers.
This afternoon, expect a chance of showers and thunderstorms with a high of 88.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
Follow the station on Instagram at TheFan965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
So if you guys missed the breaking news, Cole Reagans is on the 60-day IL. Cole Reagans is likely done for the rest of the season. The text line is saying that I'm being hard on the Royals. I want to read this. C-Dot, I agree with you 100%, but I think if you were the Royals general manager and you were signaling that you were looking ahead to next year, then you'd probably be fired. Owners want results now, even if the chances are slim. I'd trade Lugo and get what you can. Wait, you're telling me that we think that J.J. Piccolo would be fired for this when, I mean, it wasn't 2 weeks ago that everybody wanted the hitting coach fired and he's still employed. The Royals are dead last in almost every meaningful offensive category, and Alex Zumwalt is still unemployed, still cashing checks. I don't think that that's John Sherman's MO. I think you could very easily sell it if you're J.J. Piccolo on why trading Lugo in a couple of weeks is the best possible option. I don't think that Seth Lugo is going to be on the team next year. Seth Lugo is up for a $15 million player option next year. Now, I'm sure that most people would opt in to $15 million guaranteed. But if Seth Lugo gets traded, goes to a contender, and pitches well the rest of the season, he will get much more than $15 million guaranteed at the end of this season. So I don't think that Seth Lugo's opting in. We're talking about 2 more months of Seth Lugo. We're talking about how many starts would that be, Rob? 8 to 10? Somewhere in that range? Yeah, it's not worth it at that point. The juice isn't worth the squeeze anymore with Seth Lugo if that's what we're discussing. It is negligent for Seth Lugo to be on this team past the deadline if you, especially, which what I would guess, you got a real bidding war and you got 3 or 4 contending teams who need a second or a third starter for the postseason and are trying to go get Seth Lugo and you're keeping him so you could maybe be the third wildcard team. That's worse to me than waving the white flag when it comes to Lugo. And again, we're still talking about a team that's got Michael Lorenzen, that still has Chris Bubich, who's going to be in the All-Star game, that still has Noah Cameron. It's not like you are still going to have a decent rotation that you can be competitive day in, day out.
I also think for the idea that they got to keep Lugo, I don't support that idea, but the idea of people saying that, not only is he turning down that $15 million at the end of the year, I looked this up, there's a pitcher, Nathan Eovaldi. Last year, he was 35 years old. Nathan Eovaldi signed with the Texas Rangers. He got a 3-year, $76 million deal. Seth Lugo is probably, and his agent, are circling that contract. I'm going to be 35. I'm going to be a free agent. Let's try to get a 3-year, $76 million contract. Do you know who I believe is not getting out that deal? The Royals. So at the end of this year, Seth Lugo is going to get I'll ballpark it at 3 for 76. I'll call it the Nathan Eovaldi deal. He's going to get it from someone. That someone is not Kansas City. So if you just have him pitch, maybe make the playoffs, most likely not make the playoffs, and then he turns down the option, he gets too expensive for you, that's bad general managing. And I would say that is more reason to be fired than trading Seth Lugo. So I think if I'm JJ Picollo and I go to John Sherman and say, hey, we ain't affording this 3 for 76 in 3 months, let's trade him and get 2 cost control assets, I would imagine my owner and every owner in America would be like, good, that's a smart business decision, not a fireable offense.
What's that song? Know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away. That seems like what we are now discussing with the Royals at where we are at this portion of the season. You got to know when to walk away. And you still got time to make this decision. I don't think the Royals need to make this decision today with Seth Lugo. Play it out through the All-Star break, see where you are at the All-Star break. And once we get on the other side, man, we're 2 weeks away from the deadline. Where are we at in relation to the wild card? How many games back are we? Are we over 500? There's like certain questions that I would need to have answered before you are, hey, we're keeping them. This is the direction that we're going to go for. And if that's going to be the case, then if the Royals are keeping Seth Lugo, I'd much rather than make a move and actually try to go for it. Because I don't think the Royals currently have enough on their roster to make the postseason. I don't think this team has enough to win 87 games, not the way that they are, not with their offense. I don't think they have enough. So we're just saying that we're keeping Lugo and we're going to let the offense continue to be what it's been for the rest of the year. I just don't think that that's a team that can win the right amount of games that I think could get you to this point. Rob, I am curious to get your thoughts and opinion on this. As yesterday we saw the early release of the new college football game, College Football 26. Rob, you don't seem nearly as excited about this one as the last one. Now, I get it. Last year was the first time in over a decade that we had the college football video game. But you're not even talking about getting it on the first day that it's technically released. You sound cool on this. I think there's something deeper. Because you enjoyed the game last year. We played plenty of games. I think KU's disappointing end, I think it's thrown a water on your excitement for the college football season. Last year, oh, you were hopeful. KU was going to be good. You were talking about, you placed a bet on them making the college football playoff. Now you're looking at them as what, being a 6-7 win team. You're not excited about the video game anymore. I think you're projecting, my friend. That's what I really think. I think you are projecting that now reality is set in, that you cheer for an average college football team, just a 6-7 win Liberty Bowl, Independence Bowl. You cheer for one of those kind of teams. I think that reality is set in, and that's why you're not excited about the video game anymore.
So first and foremost, I would say I think I'm like most people. Last year we were excited for the video game because it had been a decade plus since we were allowed to play that game. And now we're getting real player names. It was new. It was exciting. And now it's like Madden. It's going to be cool. I'm going to buy it. I don't need to buy it in July. I can buy it in August. I can buy it as long as I get it before August 23rd. I'm good. I feel like most people feel that way. Secondarily, I was doing some research this morning, looking at some stuff for college football season, and I noticed Mizzou and Kansas have the exact same over-under in Vegas this year. So you talk about projecting about, just being a regular 6-7 win bowl team. It seems like Vegas thinks the same way about your school that they think about my school. Kansas, a 7-win team. Missouri, a 7-win team, according to your local over-unders, depending on where you get your number in your book.
Okay, well, I'm here to tell you that Missouri won 10 games last year and won their bowl game. Missouri won 11 games the year before and won their bowl game. If their over-under is the same as Kansas, I'll take the over then. I'll take the over and feel pretty good about their over. I feel great, in fact, about their over. I think Missouri maybe has more talent this year than they had last year. Now, they have a bigger question mark at quarterback this year.
Massive question.
It. Yeah, a massive question. But it's also not like Brady Cook was lighting the world on fire last season. They certainly had their problems last year. I think Missouri might be more talented this year than last year. Now, I'm with you. I don't have the same excitement. Last year, I looked at Missouri as a possible playoff team. We'll see if they could be that this year. We'll kind of see how it comes together. I don't think Missouri is going to be ranked preseason at all the way that they were last year. If they are, they're probably 21-25. They'll probably be on the others receiving votes. But if you're telling me which program is more likely to hit their over or under, Kansas or Missouri, it's no question in my mind it's Missouri for this upcoming season.
I actually think the safest bet is K-State, and they're at 8.5 of all three local schools. Like, I could see Kansas and Missouri maybe pushing if things go wrong. Like I could see Kansas going the under. I feel like K-State's, if you're headed to FanDuel, I feel like the safest bet is over the Cats 8.5 if you're actually trying to win and make some money. They feel like you know how KU and Missouri had that energy and excitement last year, and obviously they didn't live up to expectations while Missouri State had a good season. K-State fans should have that level of excitement for this year's K-State team. This feels like that playoff team for the Cats.
Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll be joined by Josh Vernier. We'll get his thoughts on Cole Reagans, who has been placed on the 60-day IL. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 and monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Flooded bathroom? AC on the fritz? When things go wrong, you need reliable service fast. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter and take $50 off any HVAC, plumbing, or electrical repair over $200. The pros at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to fix the problem. Over 40 years experience, more than 8,000 5-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee means you can trust Hamilton to bring comfort and calm back to your home. Visit callhamilton.com for detailed terms and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide Free and Gentle provides an excellent Tide clean, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues like dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on your skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
Lowe's knows how to set off your July 4th with savings. Right now, buy one, get one free on select one-coat coverage interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Plus, get 2 select 2 or 2.5 quart red, white, and blue annuals for just $10. Hurry, these July 4th deals won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for more details.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
New Harley-Davidson starting at $99 a month at Rawhide Harley. Over 600 Harleys in stock. Only $99 a month for a brand new Harley-Davidson at Rawhide Harley. Visit rawhideharley.com.
Payments based on Nightster models and base color with 30% down, 84-month term, 6.99% APR with approved credit. Doesn't include freight, setup, tax, title, and license fees. See dealer for details.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery. so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips, so we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1 ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
You're listening to the all-new 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports. KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by Josh Vernier. Vern, how you doing today, my man?
Very well, C-Dot. How are you?
I'm doing great. Vern, it feels like it's been a while since you and I have talked. For someone that I actually, in theory, I talk to pretty frequently, it feels like it's been a while.
Oh, you've been on vacation, man. You've been globetrotting.
I was gone one day. Okay, let's calm down. I was gone one day. Vacation.
Nobody gets more vacation than C-Dot, right, text line?
Oh, my goodness. No, not you two, Vern. Not you two. This is terrible.
It's too easy, man. It's too easy. I got to take it. Let's all pile on.
This is terrible. Vern, I do want to ask you this question. Earlier today, I was filling in on Sirius, and I got a chance to catch up with Jim Abbott. And I actually was not excited about, he threw a no-hitter, and he has an E60 coming out. I was actually most excited to talk to him because he was on an episode of Boy Meets World. We spent 10 minutes just talking about that.
Flint, Michigan, University of Michigan, one of the most inspiring stories in the history of sports. No, man, that's awesome. I don't think I've ever talked to the Wolverine legend, so that's a nice little feather in the cap of a cap that has plenty of feathers in it.
Yeah, I just love a good 90s cameo. You know, when you go back and you rewatch those shows, it's just like they just always just had like a random 90s athlete or celebrity on those shows. It was always awesome.
Yeah, Vander Holyfield showing up on Fresh Prince, them living next door to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Yeah, I guess that was late 90s, but still, yeah, no, I loved all that.
So there's actually a lot to get your thoughts on. What do you make of Cole Reagans being moved to the 60-day IL?
Yeah, I think that's, well, hopefully, I'm going to have a chance to talk with the manager coming up here in about 20 minutes, but hopefully that's just procedural. You know, this was an injury that we thought would keep him out until August. He went on the IL at the beginning of June, so 60 days puts you at the beginning of August. So it's still possible that Cole Reagans helps this team in the final 40 games of the season. It's a way to open up a roster spot on the 40-man roster for the added Cam Devaney, as with all due respect to the 28-year-old who is about to make his big league debut, with all due respect to Cam Devaney, this is now the final option that this offense has internally. They have exhausted everybody that has done anything offensively. I mean, unless we want to start talking about the 21-year-old and Carter Jensen who just got bumped up to AAA, this is it. You know, the next move to improve the offense has to come externally.
Do you think that this signifies that Reagans is done for the rest of the year? Because I'm just kind of playing this out a little bit. Let's say that you can take him off the IL. I believe it is August 5th. He probably has to make 2 rehab starts, you would think. We're talking about bringing Cole Reagans back toward the end of August. Unless the Royals are in it, I don't really see much of a value of Cole Reagans making 3 or 4 starts in September 14 that's not making the postseason.
Yeah, that's certainly fair, especially now since he doesn't have to go through the arbitration process. Those contract details have been all ironed out as the team and Reagans came to an agreement this offseason. Yeah, no, I certainly would not argue that. You still want him to get back to go into the offseason feeling good, not necessarily getting back to the big league level, but just getting back on the bump. So, yeah, you want to see him get healthy, but sure, if the team's out of it, if there's no chance that he can help, certainly no reason to rush him back, but if he's good to go, I want Cole Reagans out there earning his money.
Are you disappointed that you won't get a chance to watch Paul Skeens pitch this week? I know that it's better for the Royals that he's not on the bump, but I'm disappointed that one of the 3 games you don't get a chance to go see the best pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, of course. Anytime that's the thing that always frustrates me is, not always frustrates me, but when the Royals are going through a tough patch and people pity me and, oh, Vern, I don't know how you do it, man. I don't know how you watch that. There's still another team out there, and they have a bunch of professionals, and I have to imagine that of these two teams that are fielding a ball club at the highest level, that there are some intriguing players or noteworthy stars out there on the diamond. So, yeah, seeing someone great, we all love it as a sports fan. So, yeah, it's disappointing, but the Royals are desperate for wins. And Paul Skeens, shoot, man, it's going to be tough to beat the guy tonight, Mitch Keller. Paul Skeens, thank God this offense isn't seeing him.
I don't know if we've seen anything like Skeens so far. Like, it reminds me of Greinke when he won the Cy Young back with the Royals. I believe that was in 2007. Just a pitcher who has been generational, gets very little run support. We're talking about a guy who has a sub-2 ERA that's going to start the All-Star game, or should, for the first 2 years of his career. He has one win in his last 13 starts. He's 4-7 this year, and no pitcher has ever won the Cy Young with the losing record, but he is by far and away the favorite to win the award.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't realize just how many L's he's been a part of. Noah Cameron knows about that. Noah finally getting a win last night, his 11th start. Royals had lost 8 of his first 10 outings. Yeah, but that's the Pittsburgh Pirates, man. I mean, Pirates haven't been relevant in 2 decades. They don't spend money, and when they do, they spend it incorrectly. They make awful moves. It's a terrible franchise, bottom line.
Right now, we're talking to our Royals insider, Josh Vernier, for a couple of more minutes here. Vern, Passan thinks that the Pirates have the best stadium in baseball, more modern stadium, not comparing it to a Fenway or a Wrigley. Have you been to Pittsburgh Park?
No.
What do you think of it?
No, never been there. But, yeah, I've always heard that and Seattle are the 2 best, and I'm yet to attend a game at either.
Is there another stadium that's also on your list? So, like, if you're making your list, what are the stadiums that you haven't been to that you want to make sure you catch a game at some point?
Fenway. Fenway's the only one I haven't been to. I've driven past it, but I've never been to a game there. So, without question, the legendary Fenway Park would be the answer.
Yeah, that's probably number 1 on my list, too. I've been to Wrigley Field a couple of times, and when you just walk in there, Wrigley's just special. Like, it's really hard to explain to people that haven't been there. It's one thing to see it on TV. It's another thing to actually go and watch a game there. Wrigley's incredible.
Yeah, and what's interesting, listen, spring training. But of all the spring training games or stadiums to attend, Sloan Park, where the Cubs play, obviously it's not Wrigley, but what you're describing, that intangible of when you walk in, man, am I rooting for the Cubs? Wait, what the hell's going on here? You're singing the Go Cubs Go song after you're like, I don't even like the Cubs. That happens even in their ballpark out there in spring training. Yeah, the Cubs do baseball right, especially when you get those afternoon games at Wrigley.
Right now, we're talking to our Royals insider, Josh Vernier, for a few more minutes here. We were just talking about this right before you popped on. Do you see trading Seth Lugo for the Royals as waving the white flag?
If they do it today, yeah. Just because they don't have another starter that could fill his spot in any capacity. I mean, it would be 45-year-old Rich Hill who's getting his brains beat in this afternoon up in Omaha. If you pull the trigger right now on the 8th of July, how do you offset it? Do you believe in the offense that we've seen over the past week? That would be my response right now. If J.J. Piccolo came to me and if I'm John Sherman, he says, hey, I want to trade Seth Lugo. Yeah, okay, I agree. We got to trade Seth Lugo. But that is a white flag. Unless you can prove to me that it's not a white flag, man, I want you to take this thing all the way to July 31st. We got 70 games to go. Majority of those games are at home. I'm not interested in waving the white flag 3 weeks before the trade deadline. No, I agree you got to move him. No reason to hang on to a guy that you're not going to sign this offseason in a market like this, in a season like this. But if I'm John Sherman, I'm not willing to wave that white flag until the deadline of the 31st. Because, I don't see where you would turn to and say, okay, we just lost one of the 30 best pitchers in the sport this season, but we're still going to stay in the fight because we can cover it here. The Tigers were able to cover it last season because of their bullpen and their pitching chaos. I don't know how the Royals would cover losing Seth Lugo, but I agree. You got to move him. But if I'm the head people in charge, I'm going to take it closer to the wire. His price is only going to go up so long as I believe in his health.
And I think that's a very fair stance to have. What I was kind of debating with the text line is, to me at that point, if you are keeping Lugo, let's say it's July 27th, and you're keeping him with the hope that you're 4 games, 4.5, 5 games back of the third wild card spot, that you're going to make a push for, to me, you're not thinking about the bigger picture. Right. I think the Royals can really set themselves up in 26. If you got Bubic, Reagans is back healthy, Noah Cameron, you make some moves in the outfield.
Waka.
To then solidify their lineup, the Royals could win the division in 2026. And to your point, to what you just said, Seth Lugo is just not going to be on the team next year. He is going to opt out and be a free agent. So if you're telling me that right now his value could not be as hot as it is right now, you owe it to yourself to turn that into legitimate prospects, win that trade, and use those pieces to help you win your division next year.
And right now, I don't think you could get something for Seth Lugo that helps you in 26. Now, right now, as we get closer to the deadline and teams get more and more desperate, then yeah, possibly. But right now, and maybe that sounds silly because, man, if you acquire him now, you get an extra 4 starts out of Seth Lugo. Why would you wait? Because you got to think of the type of team that's looking to add Seth Lugo, right? It's a team that has plans of making it to the postseason this year, and you have to imagine plans of making it to the postseason next year. So how many big league ready bats or big league ready arms does a team that's trying to go to the postseason this season, how many big league ready pieces are they willing to part with as they prepare for a postseason push in the final 2 months? Now, again, as we get closer to the deadline, prices will go up and teams will get desperate. And there will be, about a half a dozen teams that are in a playoffs or bust scenario. Obviously, that's not the case for the Royals. So if I'm JJ, if I'm John Sherman, I'm praying Seth Lugo stays healthy tonight. And I'm hoping that price goes up and hoping that more teams stay in it, right? You want the Diamondbacks to stay in it so they don't make Zach Gallen available. You want the other right-handed trade options to stay on quality teams because, to me, in a market like this, even if the Royals get red hot and win every single game going into the All-Star break, you still need to trade Seth Lugo. If you're above 500, I still think you need to trade Seth Lugo because if you're above 500, that means maybe this offense is starting to turn it around because it's not just we're living and dying with our starting pitching. Again, it goes back to my edict to the front office. Prove to me that it's not a white flag and you can move Seth Lugo today. But until you can do that, let's take this thing to the deadline.
That is our guy, Josh Vernier, joining us on the show today, our Royals insider, as the Royals won Game 1 against the Pirates, and they're looking to potentially sweep this series. Vern, I was watching the game yesterday, and I was thinking, I know things aren't so hot for the Royals, but it could always be worse. They could be the Pirates.
Oh, my goodness.
That seems bad. That seems real bad.
And there's no hope for the future. You have, you remember 2009 is when Greinke won that Cy Young. Yeah, I would imagine it felt a lot like 2009 of how do we have this freakazoid talent? And to be honest, Skeens might be even better than Greinke at that point, right? When Greinke's not coming out of college the way that Paul Skeens was, and they can't even give him a win. Yeah, that's makes you appreciate where we're at, no doubt.
That is our guy joining us on the show, Josh Vernier. Vern, we appreciate you.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Absolutely. That is Josh Vernier joining us on the show today. Let's talk a little bit more about Paul Skeens coming up on the other side, and we'll talk about the controversy surrounding Patrick Mahomes. That's coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Circa Millions and Circa Survivor are back with millions in guaranteed prizes. Details at CircaSports.com.
Circa Millions and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $21 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
Say hello to Wendy's new 2-for-4 Biggie Bundle. Choose from the JBC made with fresh, never frozen beef, crispy chicken sandwich, 6-piece nugs, or small soft drink. Any two for just $4. It's like the reunion special you've been waiting for, but the only drama is watching you try to pick just two. For a deal as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's. Request 2 for $4 Biggie Bundles to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S. Alaska.
If you're looking for that new career path, have you thought about IT? Think about IT. It's needed in every single industry, whether it's sports, healthcare, construction, manufacturing, you name it, and Centric can help you get there.
No better time in the city either. The KC Tech Council reported that there were 3,000 jobs added in IT in March alone. 3,000.
We've told you about our friend Russ Mondry and his expertise in this field. Over 16 years at Centric. He's going to help you find that career path. So go to Centric.com.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
You want to see the ring? Here, I have a picture. Wow, look at you. I know, right? Went to Hellsberg and customized the whole thing. Oh, yeah? Yeah, well, I showed them all her inspiration photos, picked the setting, the diamond. It's actually pretty fun. Now for the real hard part, asking her.
Well, congrats, buddy. The ring looks awesome.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Ring the bell! We've done it again. Golden Oak Lending has lowered rates to 4.875 fixed. Lower your monthly payment, get cash out, pay off credit cards, and best of all, make no mortgage payments for 2 months. Lock in this incredible 4.875 rate and get your cash in as little as 14 days. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
5.81 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. Place an order online today at metalsupermarkets.com.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Car wreck? Get the money you deserve. Mike's got this.
Paid for in client portrayal and endorsement. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law.
How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Good afternoon, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Downtown, 70 eastbound past 71, the left lane is blocked. Down south, 435 eastbound before 49, 470, right lane blocked. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, Kansas City, it's Michael Waka. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
I want to read this text really quickly, and I do want to talk about Paul Skeens here, and we'll talk about the controversy around Patrick Mahomes. Someone just texted in, CDOT, this isn't 2017. The Royals don't have ready-made pieces ready to sell for a big haul, so they might as well just make a small buy this year and see what happens the rest of the season. This is where I'll push back. A small buy for the Royals is not fixing their problems. The Royals are last in offense. You know we love a good cross-sport comparison. This would be like if your team didn't have a quarterback and at the deadline you went out and you traded for a third wide receiver. You added McCole Hardman at the deadline. You think that's changing your offense? They're last. So, no, the Royals going out and making a small buy at the deadline and seeing what happens, the answer is nothing. You know what the Royals have in their offense? A lot of small buys. You know what they have in their outfield? A whole bunch of small buys. A small buy is not fixing their issue. Trading Lugo, getting some valuable prospects, and or spending money this offseason. You know what the Royals could really use? They could use an outfielder that hits 270 with a little bit of pop and could drive in runs. That ain't a small buy. That's what they need. Going out there and picking up the journeyman fourth outfielder, you want to know what they got? A bunch of those. They got a plethora of those. You ever gone out shopping and you just kept looking at blue shirts and your wife looked at you and like, don't you already have that shirt? Oh, no, this one's different. This one has, no. Babe, you have that shirt at home. Yes. And you think like, yeah, I do kind of got it. That shirt's not different. It's not. It's just new. It's the same blue shirt that you've been wearing. Why don't you get a different color shirt? Get a red shirt this time. Get a yellow shirt. Really make a statement. That's what I want the Royals to do. I don't want any more small buys. I'm tired of getting the clothes from TJ Maxx. Why don't we walk into this other store? Let's walk over here. I mean, nothing wrong with TJ Maxx. Sometimes, hey, TJ Maxx, go in there and get yourself a belt. Maybe some khakis. Their offense needs a little more than that. Their offense needs a little bit more pop. 6 through 9 has been a problem for the Royals all season. And they have tried a bunch of different combinations to try to fix it. Every combination they have tried to fix the bottom of their lineup, it ain't fixed. They need to spend money or trade for someone. You just heard it from Vern. Every possible option in-house to fix their offense is up now at this point. Cam Devaney, Jack Caglione, John Rave, Nick Law, any in-house option that they have expended it. They have to look outside their organization. They have to look outside their roster and spend some money to try to help solidify the bottom half of their lineup and give themselves a legitimate outfield bat, which they have not really had consistently at any point in 2025.
I am really happy the texter used 2017 as an example because I think holding on to Seth Lugo, while not as egregious as 2017, would be in that same ballpark. Because remember, 2017, the Royals were in the last go-round. Remember the Hosmer and Moose and Kane, and that group all walked off the field together the final day of the season, and it was like a big emotional moment. And the Royals didn't make the playoffs that year. They finished 81-8. Maybe they may have finished 80-82. I know they were around 500. And Dayton Moore made a mistake. You could argue the rebuild was set back because he held on to Kane, Moose, Hosmer just for vibes. They were not going to be a playoff team in 2017. And he didn't see the bigger picture. He didn't see the next season, the season after that. And 2018, Royals baseball was real bad, and it didn't get good for a long time after that. You can't be caught doing that again. You can't keep Seth Lugo and be 82-80 and be like, well, the vibes were good toward the end of the season. No. If you're J.J. Piccolo, see the bigger picture. Now, I agree with Vern. Maybe don't do it on July 8th. But if it's July 28th and you get an offer, you absolutely have to pull the trigger. Keeping Lugo and making small buys is just nonsensical to me.
I want to read to you guys very quickly some tweets from friend of the show, Andrew Filipponi. I don't have to ask you, Rob, if Andrew Filipponi is friend of the show because he is absolutely friend of the show. Now, I will preface this with I had absolutely no clue
these things about Paul Skeens. I don't really spend a lot of my time looking up Paul Skeens statistics, but this was some crazy work. Paul Skeens has made 22 road starts in his career. He has a 1.56 ERA in those starts. In his last 13 starts for Paul Skeens, he has amassed 1 win with a 7.12 ERA. The Pirates this weekend, they did not score a run. The entire 4th of July weekend. Think about all the things that you did over the 4th of July weekend. Rob, were you in town? Maybe you went down to the lake. Think about how many beers you had, how many hot dogs you had, how many friends and family. During that entire period, the Pirates did not score. They didn't score on Friday. They didn't score on Saturday. They didn't score on Sunday. That is the first time since 1888. I'm going to say that again. It was the first time in a 3-game series that the Pirates had been shut out since 1888. Grover Cleveland was the president. Grover Cleveland. He's 4-7. There's never been a pitcher that has won the Cy Young Award in either league that has a losing record. Paul Skeens will likely be the first. That team is bad. I mean, real bad. I'm not here to put down the Royals. I'm not here to hate on the Royals and their win. You got to get them based on the teams that are on the schedule. I'm just simply telling you that the Pirates, the Royals got to sweep the Pirates. They got to sweep that team. They're bad. I mean, they're real bad. You got to take care of business against the Pittsburgh Pirates. Rob, have you been to their stadium? I've seen their stadium from the outside, but I've never been before. Have you been to the Pirates Stadium?
I've actually never been to Pittsburgh in general. Now, I know that's shocking because it's such a great tourist town. There's so many things to do, so many beaches, so many resort types things to do in Pittsburgh. But I have not been to their ballpark because I've actually never been to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I hear nothing but good things. People rave about the food. People rave about the backdrop. People rave about every part of the ballpark gets rave reviews. But it alone is not dragging me to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm sorry.
I remember we did this topic a couple of months ago, and now's just a good time to kind of rehash it for a bit. If you had to spin the wheel and had to get a new favorite team, the Pirates being your favorite team would be a real bad team to get. Like right now, if you just spun the wheel and right now, whatever your favorite team is, your favorite team's the Kansas Jayhawks, the Chiefs, whatever your favorite team is, and you spun the wheel right now, and this is going to be your number one favorite team, ride or die, emotion team. If you got the Pittsburgh Pirates, you'd be very disappointed if that's the team that you got. They're bad. They've had one winning season since 2016. That year, they went 82-79. They did that in 2018. They haven't made the playoffs since 2015. So since the Royals have won the World Series, they have not been to the postseason. They haven't finished double digits within first place in their division since then. They have just been bad. They are 38-54 this year. They won 76 games the last 2 years, 62 wins, 61 wins since COVID. Even in the COVID season, they went 19-41. The Pirates would be an awful favorite team to have.
I don't think they'd be good. Sign me up for not being a fan of that team. But if I spun the wheel and got the Pirates, I at least could be like, hey, I get to see Paul Skeens. Like, once every fifth day, I get to see Paul Skeens. What do the Rockies have going for them? What do Browns fans have going for them? If you spun the wheel and you got the Washington Wizards, that is light years worse than being a Pirates fan.
I'd much rather cheer for the Wizards.
I bet the average listener in Kansas City can't name a Wizard. And at least there's Paul Skeens with
Merlin.
the Pirates.
Merlin. That's all I can name. Can't name anybody else. Who is on the Wizards? Who else do they have?
They wanted Cooper Flagg. They did not win the lottery.
Alex Zar, did they get him? He went to Atlanta. They got the other French guy. Yeah, I don't know if I could name another player on the Wizards now off the top of my head. I'd have to really, really think about it if I can name another player. You're going to name one. I'm like, oh, yeah, that guy does play for the Wizards.
I mean, I legitimately cannot name it. Marcin Gortat, I mean, is he still in the league?
Yeah, I don't know. Now we're going I can name more former Wizards, certainly
100%.
Than current Wizards. Yeah, I don't think I can name anybody.
Wizards would be the absolute worst team. I still think Browns would be worse because just the constant laughing stock of the NFL, which is a bigger league, would be worse. And I still think Rockies would be worse because, again, it would be near the bottom. But if I get to see Paul Skeens in my hometown jersey, that's something at least. There's a little bit of something to that.
So let's talk about this. It has been a controversy around the Kansas City Chiefs for the last 24 hours or so. I'm sure by now you guys are aware at the comments. Former Sports Talk host here in Kansas City was very, very critical of Patrick Mahomes and his body, his diet, his conditioning, etc. This is something that Mahomes has kind of mentioned before in the past. Rob pulled this. This was after the 49ers game.
No, I actually was not trying to lower my shoulder. I was trying to absorb the hit because I knew I was gonna be right there in the end zone. And that dad bod, man, just had enough weight on me where he went down. So it wasn't like I was necessarily trying to seek out contact. I was trying to absorb it and get in the end zone, and just ended up looking good for me.
Now, I don't know if you guys are going to take this take as, well, he comes on the show. Of course you would say that. If that's how you feel, that's fine. I think it's kind of clear why Mahomes is built the way that he is built. This is what I have been told to some extent. This is sort of based on how the Chiefs and how he moves. I think you can put two and two together. I think that Mahomes and his trainer have come up with the perfect plan of keeping him healthy from all aspects: diet, sleep, water intake, all of the things that you need to be a high-level athlete. I don't think that Patrick Mahomes' trainer thinks that he needs to have 1% body fat to be a productive NFL player. I think they have pretty clearly told Mahomes, hey, we think your body weight needs to be somewhere between here and here. We think your body fat needs to be somewhere in between here and here. You play a long, grueling physical game, and you play it longer than most NFL quarterbacks. You've been playing somewhere between 19 to 21 NFL games for the last 5-6 years or so. We don't think it's in your best interest to be lean, rock hard, cut. We don't think that's in your best interest. We want you to have a little bit more padding so you can absorb those hits. You can absorb the blows. When you go down to the ground, there's more cushion there. I think that Patrick Mahomes' body is by design. I think we have seen Pat work enough in the videos that we've seen on the television shows. And I've talked to Mahomes enough to kind of come to this conclusion. I think he's somebody willing to do whatever it takes to win. And if you told Mahomes, hey, let's say that he and his trainer were having an honest conversation. To me, that person shouldn't be your trainer if he can't tell you what's real. Hey, Pat, you're getting kind of up there a little bit. You're packing on the LBs a little bit. Hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to cut out carbs. We're going to cut out this. We're going to cut out sugars. I'm going to create you a food intake that you need every single day to be the best football player you can be. I believe Pat would do it. I also think, and Rob, we've asked him this before, he doesn't drink liquor during the season. So you're cutting out something. Maybe you have a beer here. Maybe you drink a vodka drink in the summer. Hey, once the football season starts, that's not part of my diet. That's not part of what I do anymore. I think they monitor that stuff really, really closely. That I think we have this idea of sort of an athletic body of what you need to look like. I think Patrick Mahomes' trainer actually thinks the opposite. Hey, if you want to play NFL quarterback, especially at his size and with how mobile he is, using Tom Brady as an example, Mahomes is just a bigger human being than Tom Brady is, and their games and play style are very different. Brady was not one to take off. He was not one on third down to run for 12 yards. So I think what Tom body needs and what it requires is very different than what Pat body needs. I also think, just based on his trainer's reaction and how it's come up now multiple times over the last couple of weeks. Remember, Ben Roethlisberger said something like this a couple of days ago about it, and his trainer kind of snapped at him a little bit.
Take Aaron in his prime or Patrick Mahomes now?
Yeah.
Well, I would take Aaron in his prime over Patrick now. I think Aaron Rodgers in his prime was one of the top few to ever do it. And so is Patrick Mahomes at his prime. Patrick Mahomes is just like entering out of his prime, I think.
You think?
I mean, Yes, I think Patrick Mahomes is a phenomenal. He's going to go down as a another arguable GOAT.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Aaron in his prime. Then we're talking about Patrick right now.
Yeah.
If we're talking prime and prime, then I'm gonna have to think. I'm gonna really have to think hard on that. Like I am. And listen, and by no stretch of the imagination am I saying Patrick Mahomes is not good. This was a question of right now
That'd be the
versus
headline.
the best.
That'd be the headline.
I know. Roethlisberger thinks Mahomes terrible.
And the funny thing is, Mahomes' trainer kind of snapped at Ben a little bit. His trainer snapped at this radio host for this. We're talking about a podcast segment. And his trainer. That kind of led me to a couple of things. Number one, I think this is something that Mahomes and his team are sensitive about. And I don't think that's a bad thing to be sensitive about things. Like we've kind of painted, if you feel a way about something, that shows a sign of weakness. We all kind of have that thing. I think it's clear. They know what people say about this. They think that it's silly. They think they have explained it away. And yet people continue to poke at it. Ha, ha, ha. Look, I think it's something that they are very, very knowledgeable on. I also think, too, and I don't think they'll ever say this, I think Pat kind of sends his trainer to do some of the dirty work. I think he sends him to do some of the dirty work. Hey, I can't reply and say this from my Twitter account. That's not stopping you from doing it. I think that's kind of clear that happens. Now, I'm not saying that Pat texts his trainer, hey, I want you to reply X, Y, and Z. I think that most of the messages that come from his Twitter account are Patrick Mahomes approved. And I think if Pat wanted his trainer to stop talking like this, he would have stopped talking like this years ago. Hey, stop it. I don't want you to do that. Hey, I know it's your Twitter account. I can't tell you what to do, but it's my brand. You represent me. We don't talk about the other players that you train, and I'm sure you train a bunch. You are my trainer. Stop doing that. I think you say, oh, yeah, cool. Hey, no problem. Hey, I won't do that anymore. This wouldn't be an issue if Pat didn't want it to be an issue. I think that Bobby Strope is the hitman in some ways. Pat gets to keep his shiny, clean image, and Bobby goes out there and does the dirty work. Bobby is normally for the smoke, and I'm cool with that. You guys know my stance. Hey, if you are allowed to give an opinion, he's allowed to give an opinion. You guys can go back and forth. Let's just keep it at tweets and words. There's no hard feelings there. But I think this is a clear message from his team. Hey, we have this under control. We're good. This is our design. And I also think as Pat gets older and has our bodies change as we get older, I think they will adjust accordingly. They got the Mahomes thing down to a science. They track his heart rate in game. Remember when we got that thing about the 29 or the 22 seconds or whatever, where it was, hey, this was his heart rate then. Like, I think they are spending an exorbitant amount of time, money, and resources to make sure that Pat is a tip-top shape athlete. And I think it's just our perception that if you're a high-level athlete, you got to look like an Olympian bodybuilder. I don't think that's the way Pat and his team feels. I think they want him kind of carrying that extra weight. So when you run over guys like you did against San Francisco, there's enough muscle there to absorb the hit. I think it's all by their design.
I also would understand, like you talked about, he gets kind of picked on for this on the internet. I also would understand if I'm his personal trainer, how I would take a little bit of personal offense to the jokes online. If I was the personal trainer, my job was to build a regimen for Patrick Mahomes to be at his healthiest for 22 weeks of the NFL season, plus that, 'cause he's healthy in St. Joe and all those things. And me and my client sat down and built a plan, and the plan is working. And third-party people online started, picking on me and saying I'm doing a bad job or insulting my client's physique. I understand why he headed to social media and clapped back a little bit. Hey, I'm actually doing a good job, and you're insinuating I'm doing a bad job. I get how it got under the skin of the personal trainer. I get how it could potentially get under the skin of Patrick Mahomes, but I have never once watched him play football, whether that be in August up in St. Joe in shorts and a t-shirt, or in January when it's freezing cold out in Buffalo, and thought to myself, yeah, I don't think he's in very good shape. And there have been times where you've seen athletes, on the field, whether it be football, basketball, baseball, and you think to yourself, I don't think he's in the best shape of his life. I've never once felt that with Mahomes. I actually think they do an incredible job, Mahomes, because he does take a lot of hits. He does, run around. He does scramble. He does do all those things. And largely, outside of the one freak kneecap incident, he is healthy. And that's a testament to his training regimen and program. So I get why his trainer and him could potentially feel a little bit of a way that his physique gets made fun of online when they're actually doing a good job, because it comes off from people who do this job that they're making fun of the job that person is doing. I don't believe that's true.
Yeah, I mean, none of the injuries that Mahomes has had so far in his career have been related to this. Like, he's had some ankle injuries, but I mean, if a guy rolls up your ankle, I don't care how much I don't care what you've been doing to your diet. You're getting injured in the scenarios that we've seen with Patrick Mahomes. You mentioned the knee injury where he dislocated his kneecap. That is not a injury that is related to this topic. So, again, it's something to monitor as Mahomes' body changes. It's going to change. He's 27, 28 years old. He's going to be 30 years old here soon. He's going to be 35 years old. What you were doing from a diet training regimen at that age, it's going to evolve over time. But there's no question to me that he's built a team around him that he trusts and knows what they're doing. And I think they're all on one accord about what that means for him as an athlete. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to have a Toss-Up Tuesday. Talk a little NFL here. I'll explain more in a bit. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Hey, it's Lucas Ursig from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
The new Omaha Steak Store is now open at the Fountains in Overland Park. Stop in to save 50% off store-wide, plus get doorbuster deals. And join us July 26th for prizes, free samples, and the Chiefs cheerleaders with Casey Wolf from 1 till 3 p.m.
If Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea was your best friend, it would be the kind of friend that starts an impromptu dance party in the supermarket aisle that turns into an all-day pool party rager at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea turns any day into a legendary adventure. It's smooth and refreshing real iced tea with just the right kick of alcohol. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Here's comedian Howie Mandel for hands-free Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins.
Yeah, I'm holding a new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-in sneaker, and first of all, I barely know I'm holding it. It's that light. You see, Cozy Fit is a cool new sneaker where the upper is made of a soft quilted material. It's kind of like a little puffer jacket for your feet, except it looks like a super stylish sneaker.
Introducing new Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins, the latest comfort creation from Skechers. You can find Cozy Fit Skechers slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Hey there, Kansas Lottery here. And we want to get together for a game or two. Meet us at your favorite retailer or wherever you like to buy your tickets, and we can let the games begin. There's a lot of fun and cash on the line. See kslottery.com for details.
Honey, in case you can't tell from the recliner, summer is here, and our house desperately needs the experts at Powell Exteriors KC for siding, windows, entry doors, beautiful decks, patio covers, roofs, and more. Get ready for the heat at powellkc.com.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Heartland Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Eat up, buddy. It's almost time for school.
You take charge of your home. You take charge of your work. Don't forget to take charge of your gut health too with Nature Made Probiotics. Nature Made has clinically studied probiotics that work with your digestive tract's natural bacteria, so you won't miss a beat in your daily routine. Find us in the vitamin aisle. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. and he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And all it takes is a few clicks. We make buying metal online easy so you can spend less time shopping and more time getting things done. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience stores for metal. Place an order online today at metalsupermarkets.com.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Getting the job done right the first time protects your home, time, and budget. This month, get $500 off a water softener and filtration combo. Schedule at anthonyphce.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Headed to Olathe, multi-car crash, 35 southbound just before 119th. It is in the right lane, North Kansas City. You've got 35 northbound just before Parvin, left lane blocked. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5, The Fan. Traffic.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
We'll get back to sports coming up at the top of the hour. Now, I am not here to judge your activities. I have a pretty simple rule that I try not to spend my free time really worrying a whole lot about what other people do in their free time. You're allowed to do whatever you want to do. Now, I'm adventurous in some ways, but in some ways, I am not. I don't have any interest in bungee jumping. Maybe you do. Maybe you've gone a couple of times and you loved it. Maybe you've gone skydiving. Maybe you've done some other extreme sports, extreme physical activities that don't make a lot of sense to me. But you know what? That's your choice. You're allowed to be into those things. I don't ride roller coasters. Roller coasters are not part of my life. I will go to the amusement park with you, but I'm not getting on any of those rides. I'm the designated coat guy. I'm the designated hold my purse guy, and I'm happy to hold it. I'll sit there. I'll be on my phone. I'll go do some other stuff. I don't want to get on that roller coaster with you. I can't believe that you want to get on that roller coaster. I don't like the way they make me feel. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a story. I don't know if I've ever told you this before, but this is important to me. Every year when I was a kid, we would go to St. Louis. My mom was just raising me at the time, didn't have a whole lot of money, so it was a really big deal to go to St. Louis for a road trip. And we would go to Six Flags. I don't remember how old I was, maybe 6, 7, maybe 8 years old. And this time it was cool because a lot of my family members came, so it wasn't just me and my mom. It was really cool. Now, I don't know if you guys remember the old Six Flags or not, or maybe this ride is still there. It was called the Mine Train. And I'm thinking all my cousins are getting on here. I also want to ride the Mine Train. I'd never ridden a roller coaster before. I get on this thing, and I'm telling you, it was the scariest experience of my life. I've never been on a roller coaster since. I'm serious. I've never been on one since. What I don't like about roller coasters, you know that feeling in your stomach when you get on a roller coaster? I don't like that feeling. It does not feel good. It does not feel fun. I also don't like that I can't end this experience when I want to. Because once you're on there, you're on there. There's no getting off the roller coaster. There's no like, that was fun. I think I'll stop now. No, we're in the middle of it. You've made the decision that you're riding this. So some of you are like, oh, Carrington, you're crazy. You've never ridden a Mamba? No, I don't even go to that part of the park. I don't even want you to think that I'm considering getting on the Mamba. I am not. I'm not getting on your Mr. Freeze or your Batman or any of these rides that you have deemed to be fun. I've never gotten on them. I don't have any interest or desire to get on there. The reason I'm telling you guys this story is because I need you to help me understand the logic of the person that would find themselves in this situation, because this person would never be me.
The tallest, fastest, and longest tilt roller coaster in North America has not had a successful start. Take a look at this video obtained by 19 News. People stuck on Cedar Point's newest ride, Siren's Curse, forced to get off after it broke down Wednesday night. This is the second time it's broken down since it opened on Saturday. You can see riders carefully walking along the tracks hundreds of feet in the air, eventually making their way to a small emergency staircase. People who were at the park reported the riders being trapped for close to 40 minutes. These photos show a crew working to get everyone off the ride. We were told by a spokesperson from Cedar Point that riders were escorted off because it would not restart. Cedar Point celebrated the opening of Siren's Curse just 5 days ago on June 28th. Just hours into the grand opening, the 160-foot roller coaster experienced issues. The amusement park said it had a delay that paused the ride's operation, and the ride was stuck in the vertical position for approximately 10 minutes.
So hold on, let me get this straight. Because I can look at a calendar. This ride opened on June 28th. It is already stopped mid-service twice. And folks still riding it? Hey, what's going on, man? You're telling me that you heard this thing just opened up. You're excited. Oh, it's going to be great. It's the newest ride, Cedar Park. Oh, I'm sure this is fun. You're telling me that you heard this thing got stuck for 40 minutes. You know how long 40 minutes is? One episode of Law & Order is 44 minutes. I mean, from the open until they solve the case, you have been stuck on this roller coaster. You're like, oh, that's not that big of a deal. I'm sure they got the kinks out. And then you went back on the roller coaster a second time and it got stuck again? You must be crazy. You want me to tell you the situation that I will never find myself in? I've found myself in some crazy situations. You know the situation I will never find myself in? Walking on the roller coaster. That's not a place I need to be taking a walk. There's plenty of places I'll take a walk. I'm not walking on the roller coaster. I've been at the amusement park. I've seen some of you walking on the roller coaster. I would never get on that thing again. 40 minutes? Just sitting there, hanging there, unsure of how long this will be. Never. You'll never catch me in this situation. Again, I don't judge you. If you like to ride roller coasters, that's awesome. I'm sure they're fun. They look fun. Every time I see a roller coaster, I think, man, you know what? I wish I wanted to get on these things. They seem really fun. I've been to Worlds of Fun with my friends, and everybody is riding rides and on the detonator and the boomerang and doing all this stuff. I wish that was in me. It's not. It's not. And stories like this confirm that I made the right decision. Somebody told me one time that the reason they made the sidewalk is because everybody ain't made for the street. That's how I feel when it comes to roller coasters. That's why they have it paved downstairs. That's why it's nice down there. Look at all the cool things they have down there. They got games and stuffed animals and diners. That's why they have all these things, because I'm not made to be up there with you. There's nothing up there for me. Nothing. Not a single thing up there for me. I don't want any parts of it. Please keep that away from me. I will never get on your roller coaster. I will never ride one. Oh, you got to give it a try. I don't want to. I don't want to give it a try. It doesn't sound fun.
I'm not trying to be mean. What do you do at Worlds of Fun if you don't get on the roller coaster? What is that?
Vibes. Walk around. That's what I do. So vibes.
You're paying $25 to walk around?
Rob, you think I pay to go to Worlds of Fun?
You're wasting ticket fare resources to walk around? You can walk around anywhere.
I'm just asking. I'm saying, you think I pay to go to Worlds of Fun? You think I don't ride roller coasters and I pay? No chance.
Do you at least ride like the Viking Voyager and the small little ones?
Yeah, I'll ride that. I'll get on a little Fury of the Nile.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll get on a little water ride. Yeah, I'll get on that.
You do some stuff, just not everything.
I'm not riding that. Oh, Carrington, so you're a P word. Yes. No, 100%. I'm okay with being that. I'm perfectly fine when it comes to that. No. Call me that. Yes. For sure. That thing got stuck for 40 minutes and you still got on it? No, you got it. Hey, big dog. Hey, you got it. I'm not here to, you know what? I'm out of the line till the line's shorter for you. I want you to ride it faster. If that's your journey, it's your journey. I'm not getting on that thing. What is it called? Siren's Devil's Curse? Oh, no. Come on now. I'm not getting on that.
Have you seen the video of when it does work? It goes horizontal and then just stops and tips to a vertical drop. When it starts working again, I might give it a shot.
When it starts working again, we don't know when that'll be. TBD.
I also tell you, as a roller coaster rider, sometimes you're pulling up to Worlds of Fun and you look up and the Mamba's stuck and you're like, could be a little bit of a time before I get on that one. But you don't stop. You don't just not get on the rides.
I'm telling you right now, I don't need to ride roller coasters. I cheer from Missouri. That's enough thrills for my life. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
For the first time in a long time, I'm willing to dream that this can be a special season for the Missouri Tigers.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Headed to Olathe, multi-car crash, 35 southbound just before 119th. It is in the right lane, North Kansas City. You've got 35 northbound just before Parvin, left lane blocked. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Do you know a coach who goes above and beyond? The Royals, the CU and the Major Leagues Foundation, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City are recognizing those impactful men and women. Nominate your high school coach at royals.com/coaches with care.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
Don't let clogged drains slow you down. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews ensures your peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
This week only, go to Peter's Clothiers to get half-off suits by Jack Henry. Choose from many colors and sizes. Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line. This week only, Jack Henry suits are half off. Come in today, only at Peter's Clothiers.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If Twisted Tea was your best friend, they'd start a dance party in the supermarket that turns into a pool party at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea is smooth, refreshing, and always fun. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEBNOW1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park & Go. The best deals on airport parking.
Ready for a summer getaway? Start it off right with Park & Go, KC's premier airport parking destination. Open 24/7 with all covered spots to beat the summer heat. Reserve your spot now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking.
College days are back on the drive. Listen for KU Day on Tuesday, July 15th, starting at 2 o'clock on 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, and Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, welcome back into the drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. All right, I want to do something a little bit different today. Why don't we call it a toss-up Tuesday? So, Rob, this is what I would like to do. Let's play a game of toss-up, and this is the scenario. It is 2:15 left in the game. Your team has the ball on the 20-yard line. Your team has one timeout. You are down 4. I will give you one of these two quarterbacks. Which quarterback do you feel is best equipped to take your team down the field and score a touchdown? Let's play toss-up. Let's start with, in this scenario, Rob, would you rather have Dak Prescott or Tua Tagovailoa?
Oh, God. I know I'm going to lose.
That's the real answer to this question. We're just not winning the game.
Yeah. The opponent can celebrate. Tua by the slightest of margins. I do think Tua is smarter with the ball in these situations. I think he's more risk adverse. I think Dak is going to throw a back-breaking pick. I don't know we're going down the field with Tua, but I feel like the ball's going to stay in my team's hands the rest of the game. So I'm going to lean toward Tua.
You know what? I'm going to add a little bit of a caveat to my own question so I can make sure that I get the right answer. When is this game played? If this game is played in October, Dak's taking us down the field. If this is a Week 7 Thursday night football game, sure, Dak, we're scoring on this drive. Is it January? Because if that's the case, I got a pick 6 coming one way or the other. We'll be better just run the Wildcat all the way down the field. We're not scoring a touchdown here. I'm going to take Dak. I think Dak gets a little bit of a bad rap. Certainly in this hypothetical against Tua. Tua's only taken his team to the playoffs one time, and he was terrible in that game. I'm also not even sure if Tua's going to be healthy enough to start in the postseason. I'm going to take Dak Prescott in this situation. We're not going to score one way or the other, but I do feel like Dak gives us a better chance of scoring. All right, same question. 2:15, one timeout left. Ball on the 20-yard line, down 4 points. We got to score a touchdown. Are you taking Brock Purdy or Jordan Love to get you down the field?
Who's my coach? Because a lot of what Brock Purdy is, I think, is
Zach Taylor.
Oh, then that's easy. I'm not taking Brock Purdy. I cannot take, unless you're giving me Kyle Shanahan, I can absolutely not take Brock Purdy. I will take Jordan Love. Brock Purdy's fine. Brock Purdy's like the 14th best quarterback in the NFL. I think with great coaching and talent around him, he looks at times like the 9th best quarterback in the NFL. But if I have a totally middle-of-the-road coach like Zach Taylor, I don't trust Brock Purdy in those situations. Somewhere in his body is still the Iowa State player who loved to throw picks. I am going to take Jordan Love.
Yo, you know what I realized low-key? You be throwing a lot of shade towards Iowa State. You don't really throw a lot of shade towards K-State. You do towards Missouri because I cheer for Missouri, and I get it. It's the back and forth. It's the rivalry. I get that, right? You be throwing a lot of shade towards Iowa State. What is Matt Campbell? What have the Cyclones done to you?
I mean, I got no beef with Iowa State.
You been calling him Bush Light Boy. You've been calling him that for 5 years.
I mean, he is Bush Light Boy. The highlight of his career is when they finished those pallets up in Ames.
I'm going to take Brock Purdy for this reason. Now, I think that Love has a higher ceiling. Like, it is certainly more boom or bust. It will be a more dazzling drive if Jordan Love is there. I think Purdy's just consistent. I don't think Purdy throws an interception on this drive. I think you're wrong. I don't think he throws a pick on this drive. My only concern with Purdy would be this, and why what would make me pick Love. Higher ceiling, and let's say that you take Brock Purdy and you put him on, I don't know, let's use the Chargers as an example. A team that has decent talents, but not like all-world talent on offense. I think Jordan Love's just better equipped on that team than Brock Purdy. So I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth. I'll take Brock Purdy. I don't feel good about it. I'm going to take Brock Purdy. All right, keeping with our toss-up. It is 2:15 on the clock. 20-yard line, one timeout left. Your team is down 4. Which one of these quarterbacks do you trust to take you down the field? Jared Goff or Baker Mayfield?
2 years ago, this was an easy question. 2 years ago, the idea of saying Baker Mayfield was nonsensical. But now, Baker's had a revitalization in his career that I don't think we spent enough time really appreciating. Like, he was done. He had bottomed out in Carolina. That's the bottom of the barrel. And now he's a top 12-ish starting quarterback in the league. It's a really great bounce back story. I think Jared Goff's more physically talented, so I'm going to lean Goff. But I don't think Baker's a bad answer. I think Baker's a gamer and will give you everything he's got. But I'm going to take the better arm talent slightly and take Jared Goff.
I think Goff's the better quarterback. I don't really think that's arguable at this point. I don't know, man. It's something about Baker. He's a fighter. He's a survivor. I think Baker gives me a better chance of getting down the field in this scenario. Like, who do I want back up against the wall? We got to get a touchdown here. I think I'm going with Baker. I feel like we got a better chance at scoring. Baker's going to come in that locker room. He's going to give us all a speech. He's going to get us all fired up to go out there. And I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to get us down the field. Part of this is just a belief. And I believe in Baker. I'm going to side with Baker Mayfield. I think I know which one you're going to be on, but C.J. Stroud or Jaden Daniels, which one do you trust? Which one's getting you down the field? Which one are you scoring a touchdown with?
I'm going to take Jaden Daniels. Is that who that I was going to take?
Yeah, of course. You've been hating on Stroud for years.
You've been sitting. I've been here. I know it's July. We haven't gotten into the full-fledged football season yet, or even you haven't had fake football season yet. But you've been talking about a Commander and Jaden Daniels regression heavy. Do you know who had a regression heavy in their sophomore year? C.J. Stroud.
That did happen.
I saw it live and in 4K.
That's how I know it's about to happen to somebody else, because I've already seen it.
It was all over the television. And I think Jaden Daniels is more physically gifted than C.J. Stroud. Like, Jaden Daniels can do things that C.J. Stroud can't, like run around and make plays. So, yeah, I'm taking Daniels in that scenario over Stroud. I don't think it's like an obvious, but I think it's the safer and smarter play.
Yeah, we've been doing this with C.J. Stroud where I think it's been a little bit of hate. This is why. It wasn't that long ago that C.J. Stroud was the answer to all of these questions. Hey, which quarterback would you take? And now at 23 years old, it feels like we moved on from C.J. Stroud and we picked the new flavor of the month. I think that much more of the problems last year with the Texans were related to the surrounding parts and not the quarterback. That offensive line was arguably the worst last year in the National Football League. There was a stretch there where you didn't have Joe Mixon, Nico Collins, or Tank Dell. They were all out with injury. Any young quarterback is going to take a step back in that situation. I'm still very much a C.J. Stroud believer. You know what? I'm taking C.J. Stroud for this question. Last one. Are you taking Jalen Hurts or Justin Herbert?
Justin Herbert. He is a better thrower of the football than Jalen Hurts. It is just undeniable.
For sure going to throw it to the other team.
And if you are
certainly in a critical spot.
If you are not the Eagles, I think this is a positive for Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman and the entire Eagles brain trust. I don't think Jalen Hurts works almost anywhere else in the country. I think if you traded Jalen Hurts straight up right now, 1-for-1 with Sam Darnold, the Eagles would figure it out with Sam Darnold, and Jalen Hurts would be a bust in Seattle. Like, I think it is that simple. But if I'm not Nick Sirianni and the Eagles, I think Jalen Hurts is not the answer. I'm taking Justin Herbert just because he has his flaws, but he is a better passer than Jalen Hurts, so I have to take Justin Herbert.
No, I don't have to do anything. Please keep Justin Herbert off my team. I don't want him around me. I don't want him around my family. I don't want him around my loved ones or anyone that I care about. I don't trust him. At his age, at his stage in his career, with the numbers that he's put up, for you to have 0 playoff wins and play poorly in the 2 games that you've played up against, we're talking about teams from the AFC South. You got a gift from the playoff gods. You had Jacksonville and Houston, and you laid an egg both times? No. I'm not taking Herbert in anything. In fact, I'll take anybody over Herbert. I'll take Anthony Richardson over Herbert. I'll take Tyler Shuck, and I haven't even seen him play. I'll take him. I'll take Daniel Jones. Who's starting for the Browns? I do not want Herbert in these situations. That concludes our toss-ups.
Do you agree with me, though, that the only place Hurts works is Philadelphia? Like, if you swapped out Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes is too extreme an example. If you swapped him out for C.J. Stroud, your favorite flavor of the month, and C.J. Stroud was an Eagle, and
he's not a flavor of the month. I think he's a good quarterback.
If you flop them, is Jalen Hurts working in Houston? And this is.
I would just ask, how are we defining work? Could Jalen Hurts be a good quarterback on another team? Yes. Would they have won the Super Bowl? Probably not.
Is he? I think right now we were discussing if he's the 5th or 6th best quarterback in the country.
Yeah, he's probably like the 11th best quarterback.
I'm gonna say he's like 12, 13, 14. Yeah. I think most fan bases would draft him and feel like we're not getting all the juice out of the squeeze.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, my stance on this is I'm starting to feel like we do that thing with quarterbacks where we just don't give any of them credit anymore. Like, how many guys do we play this game with? We play this game with Jared Goff. We play this game with Jalen Hurts. We play this game with Brock Purdy. So then what quarterbacks do we think are good? I do think it's a little bit unfair. Yes, Jalen Hurts is in a great situation. He has a great offensive line, a great defense, great weapons. No question about it. But he's made plays in multiple Super Bowls against the team you're telling me has had the best defense in the league for the last 3 seasons and a team that has a Hall of Fame defensive coordinator. I think that player's got to get some credit for how he's played. Coming up on the other side, we'll switch gears just a little bit. Today is the 15-year anniversary of a monumental sport event. We'll talk about it. Keep right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, your home for the best food takes in KC.
Regular old American nachos. You know, I don't need jalapenos with mine, just chips, cheese.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is for the men who never settle, the ones who believe only quitters end a game in a tie, the type of guys who choose the bar with the biggest TVs to overcompensate for theirs at home. This is the Lodge mentality. This is Twin Peaks.
Are you a fan of Twin Peaks? Sign up for our e-club to stay up to date on all things Twin Peaks and score free stuff. Signing up is easy. Just visit twinpeaksrestaurant.com/peaks-club to sign up today. Twin Peaks, eats, drinks, scenic views.
Hey, it's Gold, and Circa Millions and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Circa Million, pick 5 games against the spread each week, 126 ways to win with $6 million guaranteed. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no point spread, last the longest to win it all. $15 million guaranteed. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere, $21 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
Hi, this is Megan, your friend and jeweler from Shane Company. Did you know not all warranties are created equal? At Shane Company, our free lifetime warranty is all-inclusive and even protects the diamond in your engagement ring. We can offer such an incredible warranty because our rings are crafted to last a lifetime. As your friend and jeweler, our gift to you is peace of mind. At Shane Company, we also cover unlimited repairs, resizings, and cleanings for free for life, saving you thousands over time. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
A recent homeowner in Kansas City was trying to sell their home, and that's when they discovered Dawn Sharp. Dawn didn't just list their home, she became their trusted guide through every decision. And the Sharp Homes team can give you options as well. If you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold, then contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp and the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. Ask them about their instant offer program. You can Google them at Sharp Homes Team or just pay them a visit at homesforsaleandkc.com.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or 2 half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEB-NOW1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Tonight, 71 slight showers, partly cloudy later.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Near Blue Springs, 470 southbound, just past Lakewood Boulevard, the two right lanes are blocked. Down near Belton, 49 northbound, the on-ramp from 150 Highway, a two-car crash in the right lane. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Be sure to follow The Drive on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, we won't spend a whole lot of time talking about this. I know how you guys get when we talk about the association, but today is a pretty big anniversary. 15 years ago to the day, LeBron James did this.
The answer to the question everybody wants to know. LeBron, what's your decision?
In this fall, man, this is very tough. In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
I think that LeBron has a few things to his legacy. The first thing I think that LeBron has to his legacy, he is the greatest American basketball prospect ever. You could maybe argue Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but it was just different when LeBron was coming up. A lot of the emphasis placed on high school mixtapes and showing high school basketball games starts with LeBron James. For a player to be that talented and to have the media attention at the age that he is in is a very, very unique thing. LeBron has been in the public eye since a junior in high school when you saw this kid play and he looked like Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson, and for the most part has lived up to being those things. Regardless of how you feel about LeBron James, that is absolutely part of his legacy. His legacy is he is one of the greatest child basketball players, athletes, phenoms that we have ever seen in this country. So that's one part of his legacy. The second part that I think of his legacy is this. Now, I don't have the issue with it because LeBron didn't demand a trade. LeBron simply left in free agency. But the perception about LeBron with a whole lot of people is that he is a team hopper. If you think about the modern NBA and player movement and player empowerment, it started 15 years ago today. The fact that a player who was the best player in the league and in the prime of his career in front of everybody said, I'm not going to stay here, I'm joining another team, was a landmark decision. No superstar had ever done that before. Mike played for one team. Larry played for one team. Magic played for one team. Superstars did not change teams. They stayed in one place, and eventually they won championships in that place. That was not LeBron's story. LeBron left. I don't think Kevin Durant leaves the Thunder to join the Warriors if it wasn't for this decision. I don't think the current CBA is in place the way that it is in the NBA if it wasn't for LeBron and that decision that happened 15 years ago. It has been a ripple effect that is still felt through this day around the NBA and around sports. It was a player at the prime of his career having the ultimate leverage over a situation. So I think one of the facets of LeBron's legacy is how tremendous of a prospect he was and that it worked out in a way that probably hasn't happened since Serena or maybe Tiger, that you were told that this player at a really young age is going to be somebody special, and they turned out to be that special. The second part is that he's a team hopper, and it started right then and there. A lot of situations that have happened in the NBA, I don't know if they happened if LeBron made the decision to stay in Cleveland there. I think he made it okay. I think he made it okay to say no to your current team and leave and go join somebody else, especially in that fashion and the way that he did it. And it wasn't just that he went to go join a random team like, hey, no. He went to go join Dwayne Wade's team, a guy who had already won a championship. And wait, they were convincing Chris Bosh to also go down there and play? You're telling me that Chris Bosh was going to be the third best player on a championship team? It broke the NBA. I think there's a couple parts of his legacy. I think it's the child prodigy. I think it's the decision. I also think it's collapsing in the finals a year after that. You remember LeBron, not 1, not 2, not 3. LeBron was pretty emphatic. Hey, we're about to dominate and run the league. LeBron was kind of a villain for that first year in Miami. He just was acting different and acting weird. You get to the NBA Finals, you're playing a team that everybody thinks you're going to beat. You're up 2-1 in the series, and you completely fade? There's maybe a lot of reasons people feel this way, but I think the number one basketball reason is that finals loss to the Mavericks. We're not talking about them losing to an all-time great team. They lost to the Mavericks. And he got outplayed at times by J.J. Barea. You will never get that off of you, not if you're trying to be the greatest. All-time great for sure. One of the greatest? Absolutely. The greatest? And I saw you lose a series to J.J. Barea and the Dallas Mavericks. I think they left a sour taste in people's mouth. And I also think that the last part of LeBron's legacy is he made the defining play in the most important, most impactful basketball game in the last 25 years. The block on Andre Iguodala is the play of the last 25 years of basketball. It is the most important game that has been played in basketball in the last 25 years. And LeBron made the play that shifted the NBA Finals. And they had one of the greatest comebacks that we've seen in sports history. LeBron means a lot of different things to a lot of people, but I think the number one thing that he means is player movement and player empowerment. And I think the decision, Rob, that happened 15 years ago, that LeBron leaves Cleveland and goes to Miami, I still think the league is under that cloud and under that spell of that decision, and we still see the effects of that decision today.
Maybe this is semantics. We're saying the same thing, just differently. I also think part of the ripple effects of this is the super team and how we how we view the super team and all those things. Like, I know LeBron on his barbershop podcast will try to convince you that the Celtics were actually the first super team with KG, Ray Allen, and Paul Pierce. No, that wasn't the first super team. The first super team that we think, like, hey, everyone took a little bit less to make just this incredible talent was that Heat team. And then you've seen it, a half dozen times since? You saw it with the Warriors when they brought in KD. You saw it then with the Cavs that beat the Warriors. That was Kevin Love, Kyrie, and then LeBron James again. Like, you see, that way of building a team became commonplace in the league. You got to just throw superstars at the problem. And I think we are seeing ripples effects of that to this day. I think we're coming out of that era, but LeBron in 2010 maybe, deciding that he's going to join the Heat with his buddy Bosh and his buddy Wade, everyone views that now as like that was the super team era. And we're starting to come out of it in the Thunder, and I think you're seeing a lot of young superstars commit, and maybe that's the CBA, and we're saying the same thing. But I think that turned people off the association for a while, that if it was, hey, you don't have multiple superstars, if you don't have your own big three, you just aren't competitive. And I feel like that kind of turned people and made them feel a way about the association.
Yeah, I just feel like we always kind of move the goalpost because, I mean, this past year, there was no super team, and then people telling me the teams aren't good enough, they don't have enough talent. Like, people will just always find their different reason of why they dislike the NBA. So you're right. There was a time where I would say that the Warriors and the Cavs broke the NBA. You had these two teams that were overpowered. That's not the NBA today, not at all. The Eastern Conference has never been more wide open than it will be this upcoming season. Something tells me people will have a problem with how much parity there is at the top of the Eastern Conference.
I think that's just the way we talk about the league, though. I think it is actually better for the health of the league that free agency is not, maybe there's one big free agent a year. This is a bad free agent class, but there's one big free agent a year. But Carrington, it was 6, 7, 8 years ago in free agency, you were going to see 4 or 5 mega moves. And then by this time in 2018, you knew, there was one super team, one super powered organization, and everyone else was just chasing it. And one team was collecting picks. Like, that was how it worked. I think we're seeing the parity we see in the NFL, which is a little bit schedule driven, but that doesn't matter, start to leak into the NBA. And I think it will affect in a positive way the NBA. Now there's a superstar in Indiana, albeit he's hurt. There's a superstar in Oklahoma City. And now free agency is, let's make smart role player moves. And I think that's going to help the health of the league. I think just in the now, because we're coming out of the super team era, we're fighting against the idea that it's like, one superstar per team. But it is better for the health of the league if it's Shea has to beat a superstar in every round as opposed to it's just a walkthrough until the finals, which is what the Cavs and those teams were doing.
Yeah, I think we're arguing a different thing here. I don't disagree with you that it is better for the league that there is parity, but I also think in terms of interest, people were more interested in the NBA when there were teams to hate. People wanted to see the Heat either win and see LeBron get a championship, or you wanted to root against the Miami Heat. I don't know if, I think it's sort of the people don't know what they want. They hated the NBA when it was, well, we know exactly what's going to happen. It's going to be these same two teams. Yet people love the 90s with the Bulls. Like, wait, the same team won 60% of the time, and yet you tell me the NBA should go back to that. And then now we have it where there's been 7 different teams. Now it's, man, we missed the dynasty era. We missed there was one good team. So I just don't really know if there's appeasing everybody when we were talking about this one thing. Someone on the text line asked, where is Christian Brown going to sign and for how much? I assume he's going back to Denver, and I assume for a lot of money. I just would guess. He's actually turned into a very good, very important NBA player. Have you heard anything contrary to that, where he would go somewhere else? I don't know why Denver would get rid of him. He's a good player.
Is he even eligible for? He's extension eligible right now, but he's not a free agent, is he? Because he left Kansas in 2022. It's only 2025. That first-year contract isn't just 3 years, even if you are a second-round pick.
Yeah, so the question kind of threw me off. I was like, wait, did I miss something about Christian Brown? Like, I don't even know where he would go.
He's extension eligible to my knowledge, but I don't think he's a free agent. So the answer is Denver. Like, maybe Denver moves on because they're kind of cleaning house, but I
don't know why they move on from him. He's 24 years old, and he's just been very, very productive. Like, he's been very, very good.
He ain't going nowhere.
So I'm looking at his deal right now. He has one more year left on a club option, and then he'll be a restricted free agent. He'll basically, I know it sounds, I'm not saying this because just he's a white player. I feel like he'll be like Austin Reeves. I feel like kind of the same way that Austin Reeves was in free agency. I feel like that's what Christian Brown will be. 4 years, $52 million, somewhere in that range. Maybe 4 for 64, somewhere in that. That's how much Christian Brown has worked. He's really developed into a very good player in the league. If you need like a third, fourth scoring option, a guy that can do a little bit of everything, great defender, can rebound, super athletic, Christian Brown's a good player. He's definitely going to get a good contract from somewhere.
He's been the best pro on that Kansas City title. I would have told you
he's the only pro on that team. They got anybody else?
Jalen Wilson's kicking around, and so is Ochai. But
he's out here hooping for the Nets, which I don't even really know if that counts as really a great pro.
Ochai's quasi-hooping for the Raptors, which definitely doesn't count. Christian Brown is a starter on a playoff team.
Christian Brown's one of the best players they've ever had come out of KU, if we're thinking about, like, pro prospect-wise. There aren't that many KU players they've had under Self that have had better starts of their career.
Joel obviously has had a better NBA
he might
career.
be. He's definitely one of the 5 best they've had.
He's definitely the starting 5. Definitely the starting 5.
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing for KU.
And I'm trying to think who else would be in that conversation. Which one of the Morris twins had Markeith's still kicking around in the league?
Yeah, Marcus actually was a good player in the league.
Mm-hmm. He just his twin
Wiggins. It's not that many of them. Mm-hmm. But he's been better than Xavier Henry. A lot of those guys that he's been better than Kelly Oubre.
Yep. Wiggins is the epitome of empty buckets, but he's still scoring in the league.
Yeah, shout out to Christian Brown, man. I got no beef with Christian Brown. Shout out to
Huskies forever, Bubby. Let's go. Blue Valley Northwest.
It's too much. It's a little too much over there. Blue Valley, it's too much. Blue Valley Northwest, and it's KU. It's a little too much. Right,
Northwest to KU. That's the pathway, baby. Let's go.
You know what I need you to do? I need you to pipe down. That's what I need you to do. I need you to pipe down, my friend. Earlier on the show today, we had Josh Vernier. He says the Royals should trade Lugo no matter what.
If I'm JJ, if I'm John Sherman, I'm praying Seth Lugo stays healthy tonight. And I'm hoping that price goes up and hoping that more teams stay in it, right? You want the Diamondbacks to stay in it so they don't make Zach Gallen available. You want the other right-handed trade options to stay on quality teams because, to me, in a market like this, even if the Royals get red hot and win every single game going into the All-Star break, you still need to trade Seth Lugo. If you're above 500, I still think you need to trade Seth Lugo because if you're above 500, that means – maybe this offense is starting to turn it around because it's not just we're living and dying with our starting pitching. Again, it goes back to my edict to the front office. Prove to me that it's not a white flag and you can move Seth Lugo today. But until you can do that, let's take this thing to the deadline.
I think that Vern has the right mindset for how the Royals should handle Seth Lugo. I don't think that the Royals should make this trade today. I don't really think that the trade doors have kind of opened around Major League Baseball. You can play this out toward the All-Star break. You can probably play this out a week after the All-Star break. The trade deadline is not till July 31st, and it's the 8th. So you got a lot of time between now and then to field offers, see where you're at, see how you're performing, see what's working, what's not working. The Royals have time before they need to make this decision. This is where I would be fearful with the Royals and what I would be worried about. I don't want the Royals to fool themselves. And I think what has happened in sports, because we keep expanding the entry point for the postseason. No, now more NFL teams make the postseason. So maybe we'd feel different about Mike Tomlin or the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they got to be the 7th seed in the playoffs. So, they made the playoffs. Well, almost 50% of the NFL makes the postseason now because they've expanded it. More baseball teams make the postseason than any other generation of baseball because they have expanded the wild card again. More NBA teams make it because of the play-in. Like, more teams qualify for the postseason. So I understand why teams feel, man, if we just make it into the dance, we got a shot. But I think it's also given some teams a false sense of security or makes you feel like you are further along for the actual goal than what you are. And what I think the worst thing that could happen to the Royals this season at this point is, aside from an injury, the worst thing that can happen is they get a real solid, legitimate offer for Seth Lugo, who I imagine is going to have multiple suitors. He's a very talented starting pitcher near the deadline that has been very healthy and very productive over the last couple of seasons. The Royals will have multiple offers to go out and make a move if that's what they want to do. What I don't want the Royals to do is convince themselves, if they're 4.5 games out of the 3rd wild card spot, that they're in it, that they should keep Seth Lugo and be all in for the rest of this season. No, I don't think that's the best play for you as an organization. The truth is, Seth Lugo is not going to be on the team next year. I'd have a different stance if you told me Lugo was going to be on the team next year. But Seth Lugo has a player option at the end of this season. Not a mutual option, not a club option, a player option. He is not opting in. And maybe he would come back to the Royals, but if you're opting in for the 1 year, $15 million, and the market is telling you that you're worth somewhere closer to 60 or 65, are you coming back to Kansas City on the 1 year deal, or are you going in search of more guaranteed money? So the Royals are going to lose Seth Lugo at the end of the season one way or the other. You can lose him and get some high-end prospects, or you can lose him and get something else. But there really is no other option. He's not going to be on the team. And I do think that the Royals are positioned, at least for the future, where you've got Cole Reagans, you've got Chris Bubich, who made the All-Star team. Reagans made the All-Star team last year. You got Noah Cameron, who has really developed. You've got Michael Wacha. The Royals' rotation in 2026 is going to be very strong next year. You can still make the playoffs with their rotation. But the Royals got to start taking a look at themselves, and they got to start making some hard choices when it comes to their outfield and to their lineup. Their lineup has struggled for the most part for almost going on a year now. Basically, since August 1st last year, their offense has struggled in a lot of different ways. They're tied for last in runs. They're 29th in home runs. They're last in walks. The Royals got to push to be more of a middle-of-the-pack or better offense, or we're going to keep churning our wheels and potentially burn one of the best stretches of pitching that they've had as an organization. So I stand with Vern. I agree with them. Unless the Royals are over 500 in a game back of the wild card as we get closer to the trade deadline, I just can't see too many scenarios in which I would be on the side of them keeping Seth Lugo. Maybe it means you're waving the white flag for the here and now and for the 2025, but I think it's about setting yourself up for 2026 when the Royals could have big aspirations. If they maintain that rotation that I just told you about, and the Royals go out and spend some money and they take these prospects and they turn it into something, or they go out and spend money in free agency, the Royals can strengthen their lineup, go make a couple of moves to help out the outfield, and still have a very good rotation next year. Next year, the Royals could actually be a pretty decent team.
I don't view trading Seth Lugo in any scenario as a white flag. Now, maybe they lose every game between now and the deadline. I guess that'd be a white flag, but that's not Seth Lugo. I think the best case scenario for the Royals is what quite literally happened with the Tigers last year. They traded Jack Flaherty, similar to how the Royals need to trade Seth Lugo. They also traded their best bullpen arm in Andrew Chafin. The Royals can probably make a deal on top of Seth Lugo. And they were 52-55 at the deadline. They caught fire. They made the playoffs. Everyone had a great time in Detroit, and they also set themselves up to be better in 25, 26, 27. The Royals can do both. It's not a white flag. It is not, and I'm not saying you're saying this, but fans, I think, are viewing this as, it's black and white. There's a lot of gray here. You can trade Seth Lugo in 2 weeks, add a prospect that helps you in 26, and add a reliever that helps you in 25 and 26, and still be okay set up for 25. Because if Cole Reagans, and I know he got moved to the 60-day IL today, and I haven't seen any reporting beyond just that move, he's eligible to come off on August 5th. If he comes off and wants to get back on the field and you feel like you're in a race, you could have him, you could have Waka, you could have Cameron, you could have Bubic. Maybe you hold on to Michael Lorenzen. There is a way to be competitive this season while simultaneously better positioning yourself for 26. I think Royals fans here were trading a player on the team, and it's just, oh man, they're quitting on the team. They can do both. They can be set up to be competitive, maybe fall short in 25, but be better in 26 because they make that smart move by moving on from Lugo.
Yeah, someone just texted in, but CDOT, wildcard baseball teams can actually win the World Series. No other league can say that. Well, I think that's a little bit fun with numbers because, just if we're comparing it to the NFL, the only team that really talks about wildcard in that way, there's more divisions in the NFL than there are in Major League Baseball. There's 4 divisions in the AFC. There's only 3 divisions in the American League. So that ends up mattering. And just in the NBA, they just don't have wildcard teams in that same way. We just saw this past year in college football, a wildcard team won the college football playoff this past year. Ohio State didn't win the Big Ten. They still won the championship. So, yes, you're right. You can win the championship without winning your division. But the Royals are 14 games out of their division, and they're 5 games back of the wild card. I'm not talking to you about what you feel about the 14 Royals or the 15 Royals. I'm asking you, we have seen almost 100 games of the Royals in 2025. Almost 100. Do you think this team can go on a run? If your answer is yes, then let's talk about it and why you think the Royals can make a run and how they can do something to better their chances. But if you're holding on to me for the fact of, remember the Cardinals? What about this team? What about a team right now that is dead last in runs, 29th in home runs, and last in walks? What makes you think that team can be consistent enough against the best teams in baseball to dominate the most important month of the season? I just haven't seen enough to me to feel good about the Royals' chances of doing that. No one wants to admit that their team's going to be 8-9. I think the Royals are a 77, 78 win team. I think they're a 78 win team. I don't think the Royals are terrible by any means, but I don't think they're at 85. Last year the Royals won 86 games last year, and we're the 3rd wild card team. Does this team feel like that team? Like they're the 3rd best? I don't feel that way about this Royals team. That's what I mean by being realistic. And to me, if the Royals organization are holding on to a pipe dream and a best case scenario, I don't think they're doing right by us, the supporters. I don't think they're doing right by their team if that's what they're holding on to make a run in the second half of the season. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the 965 YouTube channel. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5, The Fan.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
On Friday, July 11th, Netflix and Most Valuable Promotions bring you 2 of the fiercest female athletes on the planet. One ring, one final chapter. Katie Taylor is chasing ultimate glory. Amanda Serrano is fighting for redemption and revenge. This is more than a fight. It's the first ever women's boxing trilogy, and the world is watching. The stakes higher than ever. The rivalry legendary. Who will win? Don't miss this epic showdown live from Madison Square Garden in New York City. Watch Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, Friday, July 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, live on Netflix.
Netflix. This week only, go to Peter's Clothiers to get half-off suits by Jack Henry. Choose from many colors and sizes. Peter's Clothiers, 124th and State Line. This week only, Jack Henry suits are half off. Come in today, only at Peter's Clothiers.
Hey friends, it's noisy out there. With information coming at us all day, every day, it's hard to know what to trust. And the world of wealth management is no exception. That's why UMB Private Wealth Management helps you tune out the noise and tune into what matters most. They'll create a financial plan based on your unique goals, so it's your voice that comes through loud and clear. Get financial clarity. Go to umb.com/privatewealth to schedule an appointment. That's umb.com/privatewealth.
Do you know a coach who goes above and beyond? The Royals, the CU and the Major Leagues Foundation, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City are recognizing those impactful men and women. Nominate your high school coach at royals.com/coaches with character.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Say hello to Wendy's new 2-for-4 Biggie Bundle. Choose from the JBC made with fresh, never frozen beef, crispy chicken sandwich, 6-piece nugs, or small soft drink. Any two for just $4. It's like the reunion special you've been waiting for, but the only drama is watching you try to pick just two. For a deal as fresh as the meal, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's. Request 2 for $4 Biggie Bundles to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price. Fresh beef available in the contiguous U.S. Alaska.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
On Friday, July 11th, Netflix and Most Valuable Promotions bring you two of the fiercest female athletes on the planet. One ring, one final chapter. Katie Taylor is chasing ultimate glory. Amanda Serrano is fighting for redemption and revenge. This is more than a fight. It's the first ever women's boxing trilogy, and the world is watching. The stakes higher than ever. The rivalry legendary. Who will win? Don't miss this epic showdown live from Madison Square Garden in New York City. Watch Katie Taylor versus Amanda Serrano, Friday, July 11th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, live on Netflix.
This report is brought to you by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Proud partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each can of Surfside is only 100 calories and the best part, 0 bubbles. Grab it at the K or ask for it at your favorite bars and liquor stores.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Renner Garage Door. You've got downtown 70 eastbound at Prospect Avenue. The right lane is blocked. Down south 435 westbound at Holmes. 2 right lanes blocked from the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center. On Val 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into The Drive. My name is Carrington Harrison. Rob, I don't know if you saw this over the weekend, but Chris Paul has announced that this is going to be his last season in the NBA. So you know what I decided to do? I made my all first team, no championships. This is the qualifications that I put. You had to be drafted post 2000. So this is not an all-time historic Where's Charles Barkley? Oh, well, he wasn't drafted after 2000.
So no Barkley, no Marino. Let's just get it out of the way.
This is all NBA players.
Okay.
This is all
Gotcha.
basketball team. So you have to be drafted after 2000. I chose to not draft anybody who was in their prime. So I didn't take Anthony Edwards, for example. He's 24 years old. So, yes, he doesn't have a championship, but certainly a lot of time to go get a championship. Luka Doncic, for example. I don't think it's fair to hold Luka Doncic to the same qualification that we do Chris Paul, for example, for not winning a championship. So that is the qualification for this team that I've put together. Must be drafted after 2000. I did not take you if you were in the prime of your career. This was my first team. At point guard, Russell Westbrook. At shooting guard, James Harden. At the 3 spot, Carmelo Anthony. At the 4, Amari Stoudemire. At the 5, now I maybe bending the rules a little bit. I took Joel Embiid. I don't think that Embiid's in the prime of his career anymore. He's 31 years old. I think Embiid is on the downside of his career, and I don't think that Embiid ever gets a championship. I think that Embiid's best chance to get a chip was actually the year that Kawhi Leonard got his with the Raptors. That was a really good team. Ben Simmons was still actually Ben Simmons. They had Jimmy Butler on that team. Joel Embiid was maybe the best big man in the NBA, and they got beat by one of the greatest buzzer beaters in the history of basketball. I think that was his best chance to get a ring, and that was in, 2017, 2018 when that shot happened? Yeah, I'm looking at it. I think that Embiid deserves to be on this team. So that's my first team. I also made a second team, but I want to get your opinions on the first team. I thought of this because Chris Paul recently announced that he is going to play his final season in the league. So Russell Westbrook is at the point. James Harden is the 2. Carmelo the 3. Amari Stoudemire at the 4. And Joel Embiid at the 5. What do you think of that team?
I have no problem with that team. I'm curious what second team is because there's a few names that I think just missed and I can make an argument for, but I want to see if they came in on the second team before I just make that decision. Like Paul George feels like one that should playoff Paul, or what was he calling himself? It doesn't matter.
Playoff P.
Playoff P. I feel like he should probably be in this conversation, but he might be on that second team. So I'm gonna hold total judgment until I hear that second wave because playoff P probably deserves to be on the second team behind James Harden, but like that's kind of the yin and yang there.
I actually do have Paul George on this team, so this is the team. Chris Paul, Damian Lillard, Paul George, Joakim Noah, Yao Ming. That is my starting 5 on the second team. No championships post-2000 in the NBA. CP3, Dame, Playoff P, Podcast P, Joakim Noah, who was a really, really productive player, and Yao Ming, who was drafted in 2001. Those are my no-ring all-stars.
Where's Derrick Rose?
It's a great question.
Let
me ask you this, though.
He got hurt, so if you want to tell
me,
hey,
but I'm asking, who are you taking off the list? Because if we were going from a guard perspective, I don't think that he was better than Russell Westbrook. I wouldn't put him over James Harden. Are you putting him over Chris Paul? I wouldn't personally put him over Chris Paul, and I wouldn't put him over Dame.
I think I would put him over Dame. I think Derrick Rose at the peak of his power, when he was the best, he was an MVP. Like that, Damian Lillard's never been that level of good. When Derrick Rose was at the prime of his career, I would think Derrick Rose is a more talented player than Damian Lillard. Now, longevity, if you want to have that conversation, cool. But Derrick Rose 100% needs to be on a second team to me over Damian Lillard.
Someone on the text line says, why'd you put Joakim Noah on the team? There just aren't that many good bigs from this era. The game has just really, really changed for the most part. Maybe you could put like LaMarcus Aldridge on this team as your 4, but there's just not a lot of size. And the guys who are tall, like the big guys, they all got championships. Like you might be thinking Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard ends up getting a championship with the Lakers in 2020. There's just not a lot of very talented bigs that didn't get a championship during this time.
I'm trying to think who, like outside of Noah, who even other be possible players that would be
most of the really good 2000 bigs eventually won on a team that won a championship. Powell, Marc Gasol, like most of those guys, Brook Lopez, most of those guys are like talented 4s or 5 ended up winning championships.
Like Roy
someone
Hibbert
said, what about Tracy
enough.
McGrady? McGrady wasn't drafted in 2000. McGrady was drafted in 98.
Mm-hmm. Roy Hibbert wasn't good enough for a big. There was one time where we thought Roy Hibbert may have been the best big in the NBA, which what a wild ride that was. Yeah, did you have Jimmy Butler?
I don't know who you're taking off for Jimmy Butler. I mean, I guess you would take off Paul George for Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I would take George. I would have George over Butler as far as
Jimmy Butler is one of those players that I know this. I'm not comparing him to this person, but you know how people like always kind of make fun of kind of John Elway and his stats, and a lot of the older guys are like, "Wait, you weren't there. Like you didn't see John Elway. John Elway is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time." I kind of think that's how we're gonna be when people talk about Jimmy Butler. Like people are gonna bring up, "Oh, Jimmy, no, you weren't there." I'm telling you that if it was a playoff game, there are not many players over the last 20 years that you'd rather have on your team than Jimmy Butler. He is absolutely going to be one of those gotta-be-there kind of players. Someone makes a good point. I'll swap out one player. I'm going to swap out Joakim Noah for Blake Griffin. That's the power forward.
That's the one.
Blake Griffin's the power forward for that team. So good call, text line. I'm swapping him out.
Did DeAndre ever get one? DeAndre Jordan? Did he? Yeah, he was he on the Nuggets? Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm saying he was.
These guys just fall into good teams in their career.
Yeah, someone said, what about DeMarcus Cousins? I think I'd rather have – now, I think that Boogie is a better player. I think I'd rather have –
Boogie was never close to doing any winning whenever he played.
That's what I'm saying. I think I'd rather have Joakim Noah on my team than have DeMarcus Cousins.
What's the farthest Cousins even made it in the playoffs in his career?
I just think Cousins is like one of those guys that just had a lot of empty buckets in his career. Lot of empty buckets.
Honestly, I bet if we looked up his numbers, he's a lot more sizzle than steak.
100%. And I like DeMarcus Cousins. Don't get me wrong,
he was great.
Certainly hoop. Yeah, I feel that same way about him.
He was great in Kentucky. It was right when the one and done became a thing, and then he made the league. It was a good. That's probably the guy.
Yeah, no, I feel that same way about him. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get back to the top stories of the day in Kansas City. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, host of the Random Royals lineup on 96.5 The Fan.
Baseball with the Royals.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Renner Garage Door. You've got downtown 70 eastbound at Prospect Avenue. The right lane is blocked. Down south 435 westbound at Holmes. 2 right lanes blocked. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Royals coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Almost Andy Reid here. Renner Garage Door has proudly served KC for nearly 70 years. Get your free estimate today, RENNER, forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
Baseball season is in full swing, and that means the summer heat is coming. The guys at Climate Control have been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years and know how to get your cooling system ready to handle our scorching hot summer weather. Stay cool and comfortable this summer. Call Climate Control today at 816-265-2830 and schedule your AC system tune-up for just $59. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Flooded bathroom? AC on the fritz? When things go wrong, you need reliable service fast. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter and take $50 off any HVAC, plumbing, or electrical repair over $200. The pros at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to fix the problem. Over 40 years experience, more than 8,000 5-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee means you can trust Hamilton to bring comfort and calm back to your home. Visit callhamilton.com for detailed terms and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Gear up, race fans. Sioux Cup IndyCar Race Weekend is roaring into Iowa Speedway July 11th to the 13th, featuring the only NTT IndyCar Series doubleheader weekend on the 2025 schedule. Sioux Cup IndyCar Race Weekend has become one of the most anticipated and action-packed events in racing. Tickets are going fast. Score yours today and get ready to feel the rush at the fastest short track on the planet. Visit IndyCar@Iowa.com for tickets. Sioux Cup IndyCar Race Weekend at Iowa Speedway, the ultimate summer racing event.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If Twisted Tea was your best friend, they'd start a dance party in the supermarket that turns into a pool party at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea is smooth, refreshing, and always fun. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Have you watched Die Royal Decree? How about Chiefs Take Tuesday? Or would you rather Wednesday? Follow us on Instagram at TheFan965 for exclusive video content, giveaways, and behind-the-scenes action. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive here on 96.5 The Fan. Now, I know that I've given Rob a hard time about not being here. Rob knows that it's tongue-in-cheek, that we're just having a little bit of fun, and the text line has been cooking me for not being here yesterday. I'm not ready to tell you guys yet why I wasn't here, but I promise you soon enough I will explain why I wasn't here, and I think a good portion of you will be very excited about what I'm working on. You will find out certainly in due time. Rob, unrelated to that, I do have a question. I'm not trying to be funny. This is not tongue-in-cheek. I'm legitimately asking this question. I like to ask you two Americas because I don't know sometimes, and you always give me a great perspective. The card game Speed, is that a two Americas game or is that an everybody game?
I sometimes feel like I'm a bad barometer for two Americas, but I personally can say me and my friends do not play Speed, and I'll be real honest with you, I do not know what Speed is. So it's possible that's two Americas.
So you're saying I should have asked the text line?
Should ask the text line.
Because right now, for Two Americas, the only person that I can ask from the other America is you.
Yeah.
So I look at you. You're supposed to answer all of these questions for me that I have about the other America. If you don't answer them, how will I know?
I will answer for myself. I don't know anything about the card game Speed, nor have I ever played it. So it's possible I'm speaking for the whole contingent, but it's possible I'm speaking for just myself.
No, that's perfectly fine. Text line 913-586-7965. I'm being serious. I do not have the answer. The card game Speed, is that a Two Americas game? Is that something you're familiar with? Is that just something, hey, if you play cards, because I'm not the biggest card guy fan, but I do love playing the card game Speed. I just wasn't sure. Rob, I haven't told you this yet. We didn't really get a chance to talk a lot about our personal lives as we were getting ready for the show today. I'm going to tell you that I had an insane amount of Miller Lite this weekend. I don't really know why I was in the mood to drink. I'm being serious. I don't really know why. I just was, you know what? Let me just drink a good American beer. And I just was drinking Miller Lite all weekend. I didn't drink anything else. I just had Miller Lite. It was great. It was very tasty. Very, very, very exciting time. For the 4th of July, had no barbecue. Just ate hot dogs and drank Miller Lite. It was phenomenal.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with Miller Lite. That's fine. Live your life. It's a wild delineation from your usual, hey, we're talking on Monday. Hey, I went to Weston, or I had a couple quirks.
I was in Weston, and you know what I drank while I was there? Miller Lite.
You went to Weston and drank Miller Lite?
All day. It was great. Great time.
Is Weston do a big thing for the 4th? I'm asking you as the
do.
mayor.
Yeah, they do. That's why I was there. They do like the fireworks and stuff. No, it was a great time. Family was there. We had a great time. Had a Miller Lite while I watched the fireworks. Like, oh, man, this is amazing. I'm starting to get it. You know, like a lot of those things people enjoy in float trips, I just enjoy them without the water now. Like, I don't need to go on the water. I'll just hand me one. Hand me one of those right there. What's that, a Miller Lite? I like the nice little classic packaging, the can. It's always great. Always delicious. Text line is very on the fence about the card game Speed. I love Speed.
I'm probably like you. I'm not the world's biggest card game guy.
Speed's one of the few card games that I know and can explain and actually play.
Again, that's not for me.
I mean, let's just continue with the non-sports theme, at least for a couple more minutes. We played this earlier in the show today because I'm just simply trying to understand the thought process of other people. I'm not here to judge you in your life. Whatever you are into, that's perfectly fine. You're not harming anybody. You are allowed to have different interests than me. I don't understand jumping out of a perfectly good plane. Like the plane's just riding just fine, and you're like, wait, you know what we should do? We should jump out of the plane. That sounds crazy to me. You're standing on a ledge looking at a beautiful sunset, and you think, you know what, we should jump off of this cliff. I don't understand that mindset. My mind is not wired that way. I also don't know how you can get on a roller coaster after it already malfunctioned, and then you get back on the same roller coaster. That blows my mind.
The tallest, fastest, and longest tilt roller coaster in North America has not had a successful start. Take a look at this video obtained by 19 News. People stuck on Cedar Point's newest ride, Siren's Curse, forced to get off after it broke down Wednesday night. This is the second time it's broken down since it opened on Saturday. You can see riders carefully walking along the tracks hundreds of feet in the air, eventually making their way to a small emergency staircase. People who were at the park reported the riders being trapped for close to 40 minutes. These photos show a crew working to get everyone off the ride. We were told by a spokesperson from Cedar Point that riders were escorted off because it would not restart. Cedar Point celebrated the opening of Siren's Curse just 5 days ago on June 28th. Just hours into the grand opening, the 160-foot roller coaster experienced issues. The amusement park said it had a delay that paused the ride's operation, and the ride was stuck in the vertical position for approximately 10 minutes.
We'll move on from this. I don't want to spend much more time on this. I don't understand. I get why people like roller coasters, the thrill, the excitement. I'm sure they're fun. I'm not getting on any of them. Someone asked earlier, have you ever rode? No. If your question is fill in the blank, have you ever ridden fill in the blank roller coaster? Assume the answer is no. I've never been on the Timberwolf. I've never been on the Zambezi Zinger. I've never been on the Patriot. I've never been on any of them. I don't want to get on them. The detonator, none of that. I am coat guy at Worlds of Fun. I'm hold the purse guy. That's who I am. Oh, what are you about to go do? Oh, I'm going to go ride the Mamba. Oh, it's okay. I'll stand here. I'll hold your purse. I don't mind it. I'll keep myself entertained. I'll go shoot baskets and try to win the team-issued little basketball that I'll lose in a week. I don't have any interest in getting up there. I certainly don't have any interest getting on a roller coaster after it malfunctioned for 40 minutes. And now I'm going to be the next person to ride it? Absolutely not. No chance. I'm not getting on that thing. Never. It's a death trap up there in the sky. What I hate about roller coasters is you're stuck. You can't just opt out of the experience. Like, if I don't like a movie, I can just leave. Like, oh, this is dumb. I'm just not watching this anymore. I can just leave at any point. No one's keeping me in here. No, when you get on that roller coaster, you're not getting out. You've made that decision. And the last thing I want to be in that situation is on this. Please get me out of here. Let me out. I never want to be in a situation where I'm walking on the roller coaster. I never want to be in that place. I've seen it before. I've been at Worlds of Fun, and the Mamba gets stuck, and they can't get the ride back on, so now you and your friends got to walk down it? No chance. If that happened to me, I'd own Worlds of Fun. I'd be the owner of it. Who owns it right now? It'd be me. That would be the answer of it. When you chat GPT, who runs Worlds of Fun, the answer would be Carrington. That would be it, because I'd sue him.
I'm not going to make fun of you for not being a roller coaster guy. I have friends who aren't roller coaster guys.
Not getting on it.
That's fine. I don't understand the allure of going to Worlds of Fun if you're not a roller coaster guy. All right, there's carnival games, which, let's be honest, wildly overpriced. Hey, I'm going to pay $27 to shoot a basketball into a hoop, and I win a $9, for UB Missouri basketball. Bad deal. That's not a fun time. You're just losing money. I'm going to buy expensive, overpriced ballpark food? No thanks. You don't ride the rides. It's usually hot. What are you doing at Worlds of... Just don't go. I don't understand.
You know
why
what?
You
It just seems like a really good time. A lot of people don't like baseball and go to Royals games. It's fun. You're out here, there's hot dogs and the hot dog derby. You get a beer. It just seems like a great time, like a great outdoor activity. Someone on the text line said, CDOT, what if Joy asked you to ride the Mamba and then she would be your girl? I don't think you got to do that. I just have to get a better job. I'd much rather just get a better job in that scenario, and then I think I got a real good shot with Joy. Allegedly.
Corporate champ.
Allegedly. I want to throw that out there. Allegedly. That's all I got to do. I just got to get a better job. I don't have to get on the Mamba. I don't.
If you guys get an email alert or a alert one day from Twitter, Carrington Harrison, the new president of Odyssey, we know the next step. Allegedly. Yeah. Allegedly.
Hey, Joy, you looking for work?
I got some stations.
Allegedly, no, for sure. Definitely allegedly.
Well, we all learned from Pat McAfee and Brett Favre.
Yeah, just say allegedly. Yeah, allegedly. I'm not here. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there.
Rumors and hearsay for now.
Allegedly. Hit the button.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Carrington Harrison Hits brought to you by Baker University, where graduates earn higher salaries and land jobs faster than any other university in Kansas. Apply today at bakeru.edu.
Shout out to Baker University.
Do you want to start with the stadium? I know you're tuckered out of stadium.
It's not that I'm tired of the stadium. It's just nothing happens. This is my analogy. You can fade the music down. This is my analogy. Have you ever been talking to a girl and you were like, hey, we should do something sometime? And she's like, yeah, for sure. I'll let you know. And then you hit her up again like, I'm kind of busy. Hey, you know what? I do want to hang out, though. I'll let you know. It's only so many times that you can reach out like, hey, let's schedule something for like, bro, this is never going to happen. They've been telling us this thing has been going on for a year. We don't really have much more information than we did when the vote failed. We've been having the same debate now for 15 months. Do they want to build a new stadium in Kansas or renovate what they have in Missouri? We know what the money is on both sides. There's nothing new. They give you a little bit. They give you a crumb. We haven't even seen real pictures from either side. When's the last time that we got an official rendering from either team? It's been over a year since we've seen that. We get no pictures. Can the Royals buy some land in Kansas so we can talk about it? Can the Chiefs please buy some land so we can discuss it? Nothing happens. It's just a lot of yapping about nothing. That's what I'm tired of when it comes to them. All right, so I want to play a couple of things for you guys, and then we'll move on. Here is Mark Donovan talking about the factors that they have to consider versus building a new stadium or renovating Arrowhead Stadium.
Just to be consistent, we've said all along that we're going to do the proper due diligence to figure out what is the best decision for our fans, for this franchise, for our organization, for the future. And I think that the decision between new and renovate is part of the detail of the deals. And as I said, we're making great progress on both sides. They're different deals. And once we have all the details, which is the phase we're in right now, it's literally details, final definitions, exactly that we're all on the same page, and then we'll take that information and we'll make the decision.
Details, final decision. Okay. Rod, did you learn anything in that? We played 38 seconds of factors that they need to consider from bold sides. Did we gain any insight? Do we have any clue on what they're thinking or how they feel? The only thing that we learned, I'm not even joking, the only thing that we learned is that if they decide to stay in Missouri, which you remember, I have been saying this for over a year now, the major reason of why I voted yes back last year for this conversation is I don't think we ever get out from under that tax. If you want the Chiefs and the Royals to stay in Missouri, you are going to pay that tax in some capacity. So the Chiefs basically told us that today. If you want us to renovate Arrowhead, it is going to take a public vote in April to approve the money. Here's Mark Donovan.
If you look at the way the deals have worked in the past, and what we proposed in the April was to continue a tax. And I think the numbers make the most sense that way. That's the feedback we've gotten from the legislature, as well as the state. So I believe that's probably the most likely path.
Windows for that? I mean, is November something you guys would consider at all? Is that something that you think would be too quick?
Yeah, your two windows are November and April. I think given the timeline, it'd be difficult to hit the November date at this point, so you're looking more and more in April.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, they're not getting something on the ballot in 3 months, 4 months. So it would be an April vote. If you want the Chiefs to remain in the state of Missouri and the Chiefs say, yes, we want to renovate, you already said no one time. You will not get multiple opportunities to say no. I think the Chiefs are going to stay in Missouri. I'm not super confident. Don't quote me. I think they are going to stay. And in April, they will give you the opportunity to vote whether or not you want them to stay. Like, they're going to give you the choice if you want them to stay or not. But, I mean, if you want to talk about this, the system that they got running now, they're going to get 50% of it paid by the state of Missouri. And they're like, wait, that's actually not enough. Like, we actually need significant amount more money than that, and we want that money to come directly from you if you want us to stay. What a hustle they got going on there. It is one of the greatest, it's one of honestly the greatest schemes that America has set up. I mean, we've set up a lot of great schemes. This is an amazing scheme. They get to double dip from multiple parts of our pocket. They can take a little bit of the state money, then take a little bit of the local money. It's insane how they got this thing set up to get us to pay for their brand new stadium. Let's continue to talk football. Let's switch to a little college football. The commissioner of your conference, Brett Yormark. So they are thinking about changing the college football playoff structure. It never made sense to me how back in the old days, there were 5 power teams, yet 4 spots for the playoffs. Shockingly, this caused people to argue. So they expanded the playoffs. All right, cool. Well, we went from 4 to 12. We just skipped all the numbers in the middle. Now we have 12. We have the 12-team playoff for one season, and now we are already arguing about expanding the playoffs now from 12 to 16. They are going to expand to 16. The question is, how are we going to determine what 16 teams now make the playoffs? Brett Yormark has told you the stance of the Big 12. They want the 5 conference winners to automatically be included in the playoff, and then we'll pick 11 wild card or at-large teams. Here's the commissioner of the Big 12.
5-11 is fair. We want to earn it on the field. It might not be the best solution today for the Big 12, given your comments about AQs. But long term, knowing the progress we're making, the investments we're making, it's the right format for us. And I'm doubling down today on 5-11. And I know Jim Phillips will, and I'm sure some of the other conference commissioners will as well.
I'm a little conflicted by this. I actually think Brett Yarmark is on the right side of this in, quote, deciding it on the field. I think that more times than not, his conference is going to be on the one left holding the bag. If they end up doing kind of the other system, so the Big Ten would get a guaranteed number of spots, the SEC would get a guaranteed number of spots, the Big 12, the ACC, but they would just get less. I think if you're the Big 12, locking in a guaranteed 2 spots every year is probably the best thing for your individual conference. Let's be realistic. The Big 12 is never getting 3 teams in the college football playoff. It ain't designed for them to get 3 teams. It just ain't designed that way. If they can get 2, I think this upcoming season they could get 2. They could get Texas Tech and K-State, or they could get Arizona State and whatever team. I think they could get 2 in most years. They will never get more than that. There will be more years that they get 1 than they get 3. So why not just take 2 every single year and go from there? Yes, it wasn't, quote, decided on the field, but you operated in what was in the best interest of the conference. Brett Yarmark thinks they don't need any of that. He thinks they're getting 12 this upcoming season.
And once again, I believe we will be the deepest football conference in America. No league offers the competitive balance that we do. Last season, the Big 12 led the nation in fourth quarter lead changes and go-ahead scores in the final minute of conference games. And this year, our star power, especially at quarterback, will be on full display. The Big 12 returns 9 starting quarterbacks who threw for over 2,400 yards last season. The rest of the Power 4 combined, just 11. We also boast one of the nation's top coaching lineups, from Hall of Famers to rising stars. I fully expect the Big 12 to earn multiple college football playoff bids this year, and to show once again that we can compete with anyone.
Rob, I'm not even trying to hate. There's star quarterbacks in the Big 12? Who? Star quarterbacks?
I mean, Sam Levitt for Arizona State.
Okay. They got other ones?
I mean, I think K-State fans would say Avery Johnson's a star.
He might be at the end of the season. He's a star quarterback today.
Iowa State fans would say Rocco Becht. I would say they're crazy.
All right, well, now we're just naming guys that returned.
Crazy.
Now we're just naming quarterbacks that are back last year.
Nuts.
And I like Avery Johnson. I think Avery Johnson's a good player. I don't know if I would use the term star quarterback to describe him. I will say this about K-State. We obviously have a lot more time to get into K-State football. Next week, we're going to have K-State Day. The quarterback's going to be on the show. The coach is going to be on the show. We're going to really talk a lot of K-State next week. I kind of feel like I don't want to say now or never for K-State, because I'm not really sure if Avery's the guy that's going to leave early to go to the NFL. It kind of feels like, hey, this is the year to win the Big 12 if you're K-State. Avery's back for this upcoming season. Dylan Edwards is now a junior. You got a lot of continuity there. I don't know if there's one kind of marquee team in the Big 12. I guess you might argue it's Arizona State. But if you think that way, if you're K-State, I mean, this just feels like a 9 or 10 win K-State team that has a chance of winning the league. And if you win the league, then you're guaranteed to make the college football playoff. To me, that's how you got to be thinking this year if you're the Kansas State Wildcats. I don't really know who's on their schedule or who's on the Big 12 that would stop you from feeling that way.
I'm not going to speak for K-State fans. Tech. Now, Tech is the flavor of the month because they spent a lot of money in the portal. Like, all the things people dislike about college football, Tech was doing in big time in the portal. So Tech might be the big hang up on K-State's schedule. But outside of that, I mean, maybe at Kansas, because road game, rivalry game, but Iowa State now is in Ireland, so that's not really a problem. I mean, it feels like K-State's biggest hurdle might be Texas Tech this year, which is a crazy sentence to say.
Also have them at home.
Yeah, so I mean, that game's at Bill Snyder Family Stadium, so you feel really good about that one.
I mean, I'd probably say on the road against Utah. I'm not familiar with who Utah is going to have at quarterback, but it's just on the road at Utah. I'm guessing that game's going to be at night, and those games are just always tough to win.
But Utah was so down last year.
Yeah, just you and I both know on the road at Utah late in the season, that's a house of horrors where you normally get knocked out.
I mean, Colorado, I don't expect much from this season. Their non-con's pretty soft. Like it definitely seems like it's there for the taking for the Cats.
Someone said, why are you guys always talking down on Iowa State? Is there a reason to talk up on Iowa State? I mean, I ain't got no beef with Iowa State, but I mean, like y'all done nothing. You're okay at basketball and okay at football. You're all right. Okay. Rob doesn't like you guys. I don't have no beef with Iowa State. I just think you're fine. You're just a 8-win team every year.
But they talk like they're a 10-win team.
Yeah, you hate Iowa State. I don't have any beef with them.
If I were to create a hierarchy of teams I hate, Missouri is one. Iowa State's on the Mount Rushmore.
Do you hate Iowa State more than K-State?
No.
You don't really talk crazy to K-State, though.
What am I supposed to say? They throttle my team in football pretty consistently.
Yearly.
At least Kansas beats Iowa State. Gives me a little
Yearly.
fun, a little chit-chat.
How does it feel whenever a team looks at a schedule and they see that bird right there, just write W over it? They don't even contemplate whether to write an L, just W.
They've been doing that for 17 years.
Just W is what they write down. All right, we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourself. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a